Rob is busy tonight. Not sure who else is going to join us. We were digging even with all the distractions, we were digging on the nature versus nurture conversation.
Yeah.
So Clay is at work tonight. Rob has, Jingo has other stuff going on. Guy says he's doing automotive archaeology, which probably means he has an engine ripped all apart in his...
Trying to figure out what happened and why.
Why is it squeaking? Ed's doing more ceramic stuff. He may join us. Oh! So, there was a heart attack at the Renaissance Festival on the very last Sunday, and nobody was sure what happened. So, from what a couple street characters gathered, that a man had a heart attack. So, of course, first of all, that never happens, that a ambulance pulls out onto the road of the Renaissance Festival. Never. Second of all, I'm in a shop. I can't go be part of the distraction or part of the problem when you're working in a shop. And then there was the fact of, all of a sudden, randomly, out of the blue, this woman messaged and said, yeah, that was my mom. She's okay. Thank you for your, thanks for worrying about her. She's really mad she missed the rest of the show. Because she was watching Dead Bob.
Of course.
Of course. I hear his voice, but I don't see him. Where is he?
And then he's over here with the paw. No, Dad, scratch lower. No, Dad,
right here.
Scratch lower.
Rub my belly. Tell me I'm awesome. Tell me the story again, how you brought me home. So what else did we miss for... I was surprised, because I haven't done fair in 11 years, but it's kind of all the same.
Of course it is. Nothing really ever changes out there. Not even the names, for crying out loud, because we never know, more often than not, the actual names for months or years.
Nah.
We know the stage name, the persona name, their household name in the SCA, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that you're not Ignatz the Short Pants. Ignatz the Short Pants was my age. No, he passed away last year. I'm his grandson.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Well, Larry Munger died. He was one of the mad monks that was out there, and he would stand out front with a rock and a roll. Rock and roll. I hear it's going to catch on. I hear it's here to stay. He would say that, too. But he's gone. So many are gone. It was weird being out there, and like I was saying that, back when I was a young man, that was a really fun place to be. But now that I'm an old man, this is a really hard job. Okay, carry this. Okay, put that out there. Okay, get the drawbridge thing down. Okay, do this, do that.
Yep. I can sympathize, though it's been great. It has been... Goodness gracious. Over 10 years since I've done an SCA event. And that was when my oldest boy went out to work.
Yeah.
And for me, it was walking around as Little John and I are walking around, and he's like, now you understand why I had such a hard time for all these years looking at all these young women and you're going through it. 25 years ago, you're like, oh my God.
Hey, baby. Now you're like, hello. How's your mom?
Yeah, how's your grandma?
How's your
How's
grandma?
she doing?
She's still single? Does she like Windex?
Tell her I said hello.
Tell her I said hello. I'm sure she likes some of that crap.
That's right. Have you ever thought about becoming the Dread Pirate Roberts? Yes, well.
Mm-hmm. All the time, actually, when I got older. I could just leave and rob stuff, and it's too much work. I'm fine here. So this is episode...
Not so Dread Pirate.
Oh, we should probably start. We're like 5 minutes in. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great, King of Ham, peasant hero of the mild. And, well, I might just be the council of two tonight. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. And I'm Rob the Blacksmith, third lowest prince of the not quite so damned, more likely just the darned.
Keeper of the slightly bad people who aren't actually evil, but they're not exactly good, but they have tendencies to...
I'm the one that distributes the day-old newspapers with the wrong information for the crossword puzzle.
Oh, I've been quoting you, and all of the IT guys at my last job thought it was hilarious. Would you like to press no again? That's brilliant. I'm like, he thought it was hilarious, yeah.
It was, it was that smart-ass moment writing code, and I thought, this is perfect.
How can I make this fun? So in the end, it doesn't matter nature versus nurture with Hitler. His brain is programmed wrong.
Yeah, I think part of the difficulty that comes into play, and having the mechanical background and the programming background and all of that, you're used to working in comparatively narrow, defined scopes. Manufacturing has tolerances, but it still works within a very narrow scope. 1% may be a total failure and has to be recycled. When writing code for a computer, you may have a similar circumstance where there are 1 to 5% of the things that you would like to do and that you quote unquote know can be done can't be completed because of cascading conditions. Okay, that's great, but you can define it. You can put a number to it. When you get to an organic entity, now you have an organic machine, there is no standard. There is no manufacturing standard that you can rely upon reasonably to say that only 1% of white males between the age of 40 and 45 who were born in Phoenix, Arizona, and lived there their whole lives will have these chemical precursors, these wirings within their brains. You can't do that because if Darwin has taught us nothing, he taught us that Mother Nature likes to roll the dice. And more often than not, Mother Nature's dice come up really well. But sometimes Mother Nature gets a crit one, fuck you. There's nothing you can do. But there's that entire spectrum that comes into play. And, you have so many we have so many genes that exist within any organic creature that the combinations are absolutely outrageous and almost limitless. And then when you add in the potential for physical injury, as well as injury or change based upon a viral or some other kind of infectious condition, there's too many There's too much opportunity for nature to overwhelm nurture, at least to some extent. So I think that the nature side carries a greater risk to it. However, the probabilities come in versus the possibilities. That's one of the things I used to teach students, and I used to teach my boys, the idea of possibility versus probability. Possibility is frightening. It's possible that I could give birth to a T-Rex. The probability is so, exactly, the probability is so minute as to be an impossibility. But all things are possible given the right circumstances. Can those circumstances come into play? That's where the probability comes. And that's what many people tend to stay away. This is the kind of thing that gets me in trouble with the religious, with the scientific, and it really gets me in trouble with the Freemasons, because I look at these ideas, I bring stuff in. This is what makes people at my job very disappointed in me, because as an IT project manager, a program manager, they say, well, we want to do this, this, and this. And I'm the one that comes in and says, well, did you think about these other 25 things that do exist in our environment? No. Why are you asking about that? Well, because...
Why do we know about this?
I wouldn't ask about it if it hadn't come up before.
How did you know? How did we fix it before? Ain't that the truth? Well, what about this? We never planned for that.
I will give you a beautiful for instance. There's a gentleman on YouTube who was one of the original engineers for Microsoft.
Okay.
And he created a lot of the Microsoft admin console components that, as an IT guy, these are ubiquitous.
Okay.
You know, task manager and things like that. So a lot of the functions that we have used to run these systems and to develop these systems, this guy either was the guy who built it, or he was on the team or the team manager who built a lot of these functions that are still used in the system today.
Very nice.
I was watching his program yesterday. He put up a new one, and he said, why is your new computer slower than the one you had just 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And the thing that he broke down is something that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think about or wouldn't pay attention to. And he attributes it in part to a use of what is being termed artificial intelligence. Oh, happy kitty.
Yeah, oh, she is now. She got a bunch of treats.
But it also goes to what I consider to be built-in laziness. And it's not that they're cognitively being lazy. It's in the old days when you wrote a computer program, you had to be very thoughtful about the hardware and how your software was going to use up all those resources. You had limited amount of memory. You had limited amount of storage space.
Yes.
All of these things were very limited. But now these systems have well outpaced those limitations. But the underlying design for the systems that use those are still using those old components that were built based on those limitations. And nobody went back to clean that stuff up. Part of what has happened is, before AI actually got its name, a lot of the coding systems that were available had predictive code generators. So it knew that if you type these three statements, you were probably going to do this. And it would try and guess what you wanted to do and give you the option to fill it out. Okay. And that was really great. It was helpful because it helps you to move a little faster. But what ended up happening was that old school guys like me started looking at it and talking with each other and saying, it's writing what we would call dirty code. It would do it kind of the quick and easy way, the quick and cheap way. and it would get it done, but it didn't do it well, or it would leave behind junk, or it wouldn't clean itself up afterwards.
It was form over function, or function over form. That's it.
Exactly. It could run, and
but
it could pass
pretty,
a test.
It wasn't
pretty. It wasn't elegant, and it wasn't efficient. It got the job done, and that has been a cascading failure because now they used a lot of that predictive text, a lot of that kind of thing to train these large models for the artificial intelligence systems. So the AI is doing that same kind of work. And he had really mentioned it because he was looking at some code and things that had been written of late that had been done by AI, by people that he knew. And he looked through it and he was pointing out to his friends that were asking him about it, hey, did you really look at this? I know it passed your test. I know it passed the code test. It went through and it didn't find any errors, and it ran and it gave you back a result that you had hoped for. But did you look at the code itself to see what it was doing and see what things were there and what things were missing? And he said that almost to the last person, they looked at it and they all were of the same mindset. My God, yeah, this is really, comparatively speaking, this is bad coding. It's not elegant. It takes too many shortcuts, or it uses too many things that leave errors out or leave the opportunity for problems to exist. And it's gotten to be a bigger and bigger problem. I don't know if you remember the CrowdStrike event that happened a while back. That took down basically every Windows system, almost every Windows system around the world.
Oh,
because
no,
something got past the CrowdStrike AI testing. So what CrowdStrike does, CrowdStrike goes in and it sets little bits of code inside of a Windows computer for safety, for security, that is designed to identify potential impacts, potential invasions. So, viruses, bad code, bad actors. The way it does it is it gets around Microsoft's primary securities. The thing that occurred was that the system set up, the team built the latest list of potential virus snippets, things to look for. But when it went through the AI for testing, it got past the AI without ever putting the package in place that had the stuff to look for. So it got pressed out to every system in the world that was using CrowdStrike's system. But it was missing that key component. So what ended up happening is it basically bricked computers. As soon as the software ran and it started looking, it says, well, there's nothing here, so lock up.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of manual repairs and revisions that had to be done until some folks figured out how to write scripting to go back and do it.
Oh my.
But that's part of the concern with the idea of AI being able to do these things. AI is only as good as the data model that it has. And the data model can be manipulated inadvertently by a large group of people who tend to gravitate towards a particular idea or thought string or something like that. The more hits something gets, it then develops a greater strength in the algorithm. So now all of a sudden AI thinks, well, if 10 million people like this, if they went and looked at it, it must be valuable, it must be important, and we'll use it. That can also be done intentionally through the same idea. If you set up a bot to go out and start distributing
grab
things,
all these, yep.
Exactly, all the junk, if you push all the junk out. So that becomes a problem. Now, most of the AI models, the underlying AI algorithms, once they are called out on it, they come back and say, oh yes, I have reviewed that information and I found out I will adjust my mind to accept that. But that's a little bit better than arguing with a person who has an emotional construct with a particular idea. Because in this case, the AI is saying, oh, okay, I accept that you have a different opinion on this particular subject matter, and I will look into it. Yeah. As opposed to the person who has the emotional connection and says, fuck you, I know what I'm talking about because I love this idea. Okay. So,
okay.
But that's kind of that's the problem that he's seeing, and that's the problem that I've been watching for a few years. It's been really bad. I haven't seriously written any code, really written code hard in over 2 decades. And even when I was doing that, even when I was working for the City of Surprise and I was writing all kinds of SQL code for the databases and systems like that, I was very bad from the standpoint of the managers, because I took a long time to write my code and they didn't understand why. And it was because I went in and I documented my code and I looked at it, because I knew that at some point in time, either I had to go back and look at it or somebody else had to come in behind me and figure out what I did and why I did it.
Yeah. And
if I put information in there, it became easy to figure out why I did something. And then they can come back and fix it. When there's a change to the underlying system, they can go in and say, oh, you can't use this string of information anymore. You have to rewrite it.
And use this other one.
You can use this new one because you told me that this is what you were trying to do, and you now do it this way.
You're trying to do it wrong.
Exactly. It's as my father used to say, it's the Air Force way of doing things. No. You do it like this and try again. Okay, there you go. As opposed to Marine Corps way. No, you do it like this. You did it wrong. Do it like this. No, you did it wrong. Do it like this.
Drop test it. It'll be fine.
That's right. It's
boom. Does it still work? Yep. You're good to go. You're good to go.
It's the when the gunnery sergeant tells you to jump and you ask how high on the way up.
Yeah. Excellent. 'Tis the season. It's spring.
Yeah, spring is sprung. Spring.
So that was coding. Yep. Thank you.
Yep, that was. But that was kind of the idea of the nature versus nurture, in that if you think about it, the natural tendency is to seek the path of least resistance, and that's what people have done. The nurture is what some of us old timers still do, and what we try to coax some of the young folks into doing, is pay attention, try and put the rest of this in, try and pull the rest of that back. Stay away from the quick and dirty and look for the harder road.
Yeah.
The hard, high road may be the more difficult road, but oftentimes you get a better result.
Yeah.
And
the best thing... go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think AI can be an interesting model for the nature versus nurture argument, because it's a way to look at it in a petri dish with certain exclusions. I mean, the human mind can do a whole lot more than even the combined computing skills of our computing capacity of the world could do.
Yeah.
But it's a way to get a better view of nature versus nurture, because what we just talked about, if I leave it to run on its own and it runs the algorithm, and the algorithm says, well, A has 10, B has 1, A is more important than B. But then we find out, well, no, B is truthful because A has been manipulated. And here's the validity for B. That's that whole nature versus nurture. Nature says this looks bigger number, better.
It's not necessarily the case. It just brings me back to think of Y2K and how that was such the best part was the progression. How it started out as like a rumor, and then it became a full-blown panic, and then it was half and half, and then towards the end it was nothing, and then after it was over, everyone that knew anything was about computers was like, see? And the rest of us were like, okay, yeah, I guess you guys were right.
Y2K was kind of interesting because there was literally a decade of work that went into old systems that could not handle that change. to basically band-aid and patch them so that they could. But a lot of that wasn't anything that anybody knew a lot about, because a lot of those systems were either arcane by comparison, or they were deeply hidden. They were in places where they were 4 or 5 layers removed from the average end user. So you wouldn't know about it. It was the system that governed a secondary system that supported the aircraft maintenance system, because the original code was written back in the 1960s.
60, yeah.
And what they had to do is, since then, they've had that system patched into 3 newer systems that then they applied something over the top that then went back and said, okay, I'm going to do the algorithm that these can't handle, and then I'm going to lie to the other systems. So
well, I remember our friends arguing about it, and so many of them were of a like mind, and others were vehemently, the world's going to end, it's going to be Mad Max, it's going to be Boy and His Dog, the nukes are going to launch. Whoa, what? You know.
Yeah.
So there was, because how did you survive the 80s? Well, you know, it was the Cold War, and at any moment the nukes could go off, and they killed Kennedy, so that kind of mellowed us out, and, you know, we got on the moon, and that was kind of like, okay, now what?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of, that's, when you go through a lot of that, there's a lot of the history in all of the, since the 1940s, there's a lot of deep history that is known but not known, if that makes sense. Because the ties are not readily made, and it's not something that's deeply explored.
No, you're right.
My father was in the Air Force, and he went in the late 50s as a fighter pilot. And he ended up going into, there were 3 groups in the Air Force. You had Strategic Air Command, SAC, you had Military Airlift Command, MAC, and you had Tactical Airlift Command, TAC. So the one he never was in was Military Airlift Command. He was in TAC and SAC. Basically, he was either doing tactical stuff when he was in Vietnam, when he was in Cambodia and Laos, and when he was in the Belgian Congo and South Africa and all the rest of that stuff, or he was in SAC when he was doing the bombers, and when he was flying nukes, and when he was dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis and all the rest of that horseshit. And there were a lot of things that he would talk about many years later that were not readily known, because they were one-off incidents and nobody tied them together. Something happened over here that had people known about it and drawn the connection, they might have gotten excited. But the fact that a nuclear device was in this country during the time when we knew that the nukes were going into Cuba, and we had all of these guys airborne that nobody, you know, that was, the flights were known. Yeah, we had all the bombers that had flown out of New England, but nobody knew that all of them were loaded with bombs, with nukes, and were actually headed toward, you know, so that kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was the closeness.
I don't know what was going on yesterday, but out there at the ranch, which is right next to the Luke Air Force testing, there was all kinds of noise. There was one point where we couldn't even talk because overhead. It's like, then they leave. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's like, God, they're so fucking loud. How do you guys sneak up on anybody? Oh, that's the stealth ones, right?
Well, when you come in at 40,000 feet,
yeah,
and then in the last couple of miles you take a rapid descent, that's when all of a sudden they go, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, we know that the guy that owns the Precision, what is it, Dillon Precision Company, has that Blackhawk because he likes to buzz the Phoenix metropolitan area at 4:45 in the morning. Thanks, Chuck. I mean, I'm already up,
Yeah.
but I don't want my neighbors to be up just because I'm up. I try not to make noise. Meanwhile...
Oh, he's got a lot more than just a UH-60 Blackhawk.
Oh,
He's
I
got a
know
bunch
he
of
does,
little
but
birds.
that's his favorite. I want to piss off all of Phoenix
yeah.
this morning toy.
I had a brother-in-law who used to work for him.
Really?
And was on the minigun line. And he was former Navy, was an ordnance officer in the Navy, and so he was building a lot of the electronics now at that time for the main gun controls, the firing control systems for these miniguns. And he used to get to go and fly in the little birds, and they would test out the equipment in different places. And yeah, you wouldn't know it because Dillon Precision, the one that most people know, was the reloading facility. And they had a nice little place there at the Scottsdale Air Park, and you could go in there and buy all your reloading gear. And then they would show you that, oh yeah, we make stuff for the government. Here's some pictures of us with our miniguns.
But don't worry about that. Look at this cool scope.
Yeah, look at this reloading thing where you can pull down the handle, and every time you pull down the handle, you shit out 10 loaded rounds.
15 shells go into the chamber.
So it's just like, yeah, I could reload 10,000 rounds of ammunition in one evening by just pulling the lever twice.
I'd love to go work there. What do? Do you need customer service? Actually, we're good. Oh. You need somebody to pull the trigger? No, we got somebody. Okay. What about the warehouse? I can read numbers. Actually, the warehouse. Come with us. Yeah, come with us.
That's right. Can you run a pallet jack in the middle of summer? I can run a pallet jack on the sun if it pays.
I'll run that pallet jack through hell if you give me enough money.
That's right. You know Winston Zeddemore? He's my guy.
Yeah.
If there's enough money in it.
I'll believe anything you say. Loch Ness Monster, it's the theory of it. Oh my god, I love Annie Potts so much. She's my favorite nerdy girl. Janine, don't look at me. You got those bug eyes. Sorry about the bug eyes thing, Janine. Okay, Dr. Venkman. She's just so condescendingly indifferent, and it's just hot because it's her.
Yeah.
I love her, and who is Harry Crumb, and how Jeffrey Jones is like obsessed with her. Well, yeah, dude, we all are. And he has that picture of her when they were in the night school or whatever, and she looks amazing.
Then she got to be Sheldon's grandma.
Is that who she is? In
Young Sheldon, she is Meemaw.
Gotcha. She would be perfect for that. She or Helen Hunt. Turn to the right. Elastigirl. Hi, I'm Baron. Oh, okay. We're just going to have to keep trying. That's the spirit. That's a husband who loves his wife. Can't have kids. Well, we're just not trying hard enough. What? No. Okay, never mind. So much for that plan. But she was ready for it. She was down. That's an interesting whole movie for every single character for nature versus nurture. For across the board. Raising Arizona is filled with a bunch of people who are kind of, it's who are the good people in that movie? Son, you got a panty on your head. I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got in the register. But the same can be said for Repo Man. Because Otto, Emilio Estevez's character, he's not really a good person.
Yeah.
He talks about putting razor blades in oranges and selling them to people to eat. And I mean, they're repoing cars, but they have to go through all kinds of crap to find the vehicle. And then the one dude he's with first, Repo Man's life is a life of adventure, where he's trying to steal the Camaro, and the guy shoots out the window, so he shoots inside his house, and Emilio Estevez's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That guy could have kids. You shot inside of his house. And he looks at him, nah, man, blanks. Oh, then go ahead then. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Because he, like, empties the clip at the house, and then there's not another word that comes out of the house, not another sound. The guy doesn't see, stops yelling, and he stops firing his gun. Like, Jesus Christ, like he realized, my kids are in danger if I'm... Driving makes people stupid. Tracy Walter's character. The mechanic who flies away at the end. It's a crazy movie. It's up there with Buckaroo Banzai and Across the Eighth Dimension.
Buckaroo Banzai. That one starts out. You have got to be, well, anybody who tells you that they were 100% in the know from the beginning to the very end of Buckaroo Banzai was either stoned on 7 different kinds of incredible medicated pharmaceuticals, or is lying like hell, because you have to open your mind as you're going through. Opens up, you're like, what? Wait, okay, hold on, I'm working.
Yeah.
Pulling this in. Nope, they just took a turn.
The story is so fantastic. It's almost like you went, what? Doctor Who? That's not enough.
Yeah.
What? Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic? That's not enough. What? I'm trying to think of a fictitious guitar player singer who's super famous in a story, besides like Ziggy Stardust. What? That's not enough, because that's
Brian May.
Yeah,
Wimps. These guys have no idea what they're doing.
I don't know. The guy from Muse, yeah, he's a shit. But that's Buckaroo is the ultimate Mary Sue of male characters. But he's obnoxiously over the top because that is his character. He has no weaknesses. He's got super hearing. He's a musician. He's a scientist, and he's an adventurer and a archaeologist, and he has a band of adventurers.
Yeah, he's MacGyver and then some.
And Johnny Quest, and he's the ultimate male fantasy where every male wants to be him in his world.
Yep. Every guy wants to be him. Every girl wants to have him.
Exactly. And like from Red Dwarf, he's the alternative Arnold. He's Ace Rimmer. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. Wow. What a guy. I'm so glad he's here. Anyway, and then even when he meets himself, Arnold, go do this and go do this and go do that. And Rimmer from the world is like, what? I can't do any of those things. What? What do you mean you can't do those things? And then Crichton has to explain to him, no, you're from the universe where he stayed behind and he had to work really hard and he got held back in school. In his universe, he got moved forward, so he's useless. He's never had to really work for anything, so he doesn't appreciate anything. And that's kind of like Rimmer in a nutshell. Because even when he sees Lister for the first time, he starts calling him another nickname. He's like, Spanners. And Lister's like, what? He's like, I'm going to need you to fix my spaceship. It's got this and this and this wrong with it. So I know that you did this and this and this before, so I'm hoping that that'll work again. And Lister's like, what are you talking about? Because in that reality, he's a ace mechanic I gotta rewatch that series. Red Dwarf is so hilarious and awesome.
Oh, I love Red Dwarf.
Wow, what a guy. That's anytime they interact with Ace Rimmer, where when they interact with Arnold Rimmer, they're like, there's, he fills people with hope and, possibility and good feelings, where the other Rimmer fills people with disgust and
despair.
Yeah, you're here. Oh, thank God. One of the funny episodes is when they go to the Psy Moon and it grabs Rimmer and it makes the entire terrain of his world from his psyche. And, hey, Kris. And Kat and Lister are down there and they see a graveyard. And all of the headstones are like hope, friendship.
Yep.
That one's minute. And I can't even remember what it was, but it was really funny.
So are we going to have drama tonight? Because I missed it.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, he brought that up. No.
Good. I don't like drama.
Not that kind of drama. I mean, it's great for ratings, but it's bad for the soul.
No.
I had a coworker that I thought I was helping out, and it did not work out. Things happened. Individuals were called, and she's happily back at her old place now, and we wish her all the best.
Exactly.
Good.
But watch episode 63, you'll see what I mean. Episode 64, we're not going to worry about that. We've talked about coding, Y2K, and now alternate realities with Red Dwarf. And there's also that, too. There's that joke in, what is it, Gravity Falls, only nerds would list charisma as a superpower. Because you can learn charisma, but a lot of people are born with it.
True.
Because, well, all of the attributes that you have listed in all of the role-playing games, not just D&D, not just, blah, 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 blah. Strength. Well, just like in Fallout or in real life, you want to go get stronger, go to the gym, start running, pick more shit up. You want to become more intelligent? Well, play more games, read more books, watch more documentaries, have more discussions. Wisdom comes with time. That's the only one you can't, well, you can force wisdom, but you're going to end up in the hospital. What happens when I stick my arm in the wood chipper? Oh, that's a bad idea. So, charisma, you really have to take, improv classes. You have to learn a little bit of psychology. You have to study how people that are admired and how people that are generally liked by a large group of people, how they communicate, how they hold themselves, what they dress, what they say, because charisma is multifaceted, where it's not just saying a bunch of stuff. You have to have your timing down. You have to read the room to know who you're talking to. Not every joke is going to work in every locale.
I would say those three tie very closely to each other. They feed on each other. Wisdom, intelligence, and charisma, because you have to have each in some measure to feed the others.
Oh, excuse me.
And
charisma.
So as you improve in one area, you have the potential to improve the other two, so long as you also have the propensity to understand that. There are those who are lacking in certain psyche components, which would preclude their ability to have a charisma, but may not necessarily, or may improve their ability to have what might be considered wisdom and or intelligence. So
intelligence is knowing that the tomato is classified as a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in fruit salad. That would be gross. You have gazpacho. You don't need it in a fruit salad. We'll just put a little. Just one. No!
Cherries go in fruit salad.
Yeah,
Cherry
there's
tomatoes do not.
There's your red. Now shut up. We have to have red and yellow and green because it's fruit.
It's Italian fruit salad.
It's Italian fruit. There's chunks of feta in there, and what's the other? What's that called? They have feta and tomatoes and is it parsley or oregano or no? You know what I mean? It's like a side dish you would get with pasta. It's like a little tiny. God damn it! Hold on, now I have to look it up.
Often it's called an antipasti, but you get
with the olive oil or whatever.
Tomatoes and mozzarella and a bit of oregano on it, or a little bit of parsley on it.
Cheese tomato paratha. I probably pronounced that wrong. I'm not at all Italian. Oh, it's mozzarella, not feta. Forgive me. It's cheese. I love all the cheeses. I don't discriminate. I've yet to find a cheese I don't like. Now, not every cheese goes on every sandwich. Like I like to watch that other guy on YouTube, Roll for Sandwich, Christine.
Oh, yeah, he's funny.
My God, that's hilarious. Especially when he rolls really badly and he's like, I have to eat this. And then he does. Now that's suffering for the art, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Remember, FDIC will be prohibited by law and valid in every state.
Right.
Remember to check local listings and times for show times and parking. Local APR. Fast Talk is, I said this every weekend, all weekend long. Fast Talk has really gone out as an art since that Micro Machines guy died. Not to make light of his death, because he had a loving family, I hope, but auctioneers just don't have the same draw.
No, not quite the same.
Because
an auctioneer is only saying one word, potentially 2 words out of every 10. The rest of it is just a fill. The rest of it is just a
because he's 45, 50. Where the Micro Machines guy is a kid version of the Bass-O-Matic. It's like the Julienne's, which we know there were other. Eddie Lawrence, I think, was the other Fast Talk comedy master before Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
I know Aykroyd wasn't the first.
That all came from the original admin anyways, because you had to, after a time, you had to get in your disclaimer speech, so you had to hire somebody. And it was very hard to hire somebody to say it and then speed it up without it sounding absolutely ridiculous.
Like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Exactly. So you had to hire somebody who could say it, and it was still audible. And if you were paying attention, you could pick up every other word and understand what he had said. This is not valid in Nevada on a Tuesday the 4th in a leap year. So, okay, you know.
I always thought the Bass-O-Matic thing was absolutely hilarious. And he did other ones, too. It wasn't the only one. That's just the only one I can remember right now. But somehow that came from the cheese and mozzarella and parsley. I don't have an answer. Oh, tomatoes and wisdom, and that's how we got there. Sorry. Skip the groove. Dexterity would probably be the hardest one to... No, I guess you could train for that. Monkey bars or whatever.
Again, many of the skills that are listed, as you said, in role-playing games have a basis in reality, and much of the skill set can be learned, but it is very difficult. It is a rare reality where someone can truly train a defined skill set in reality to a very high level beyond what would be considered the norm or the average.
Hold on, I gotta turn this off real quick. I think I put enough clay, bought a little evaporative cooler for the computer room, and it is amazing. Yep, I'm glad I'm paying attention. It is running low on water. Sappy, go get a pitcher. Yeah. Oh yeah, no thumbs. Not only that, she pretty much weighs the same as the pitcher. That would be...
She'll just push it off the counter anyways.
Actually, yeah.
It's full.
Especially that
Catch
one.
It.
Watch. What? This? No! Oh. What are you doing? I love it.
Fenner would be the one to go and grab it, but he's such a tool that he would be carrying it sideways and just spilling it all the way until he got it to you.
There she is.
So.
You can't see her because she's dark. She blends in like an... Oh, there we go. Right next to me. Blends in like a ninja. And she screams every time you pick her up. Sorry. 7 years old. Never gets old. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I made you perform it.
Love me,
Dance,
hold me,
monkey.
pet me. Just don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Just rub my head in my butt. Never pick me up again.
That's how cats are.
That's why I don't need a girlfriend. I've got 4 cats. Just squeeze my butt and tell me I'm pretty. Oh, you're pretty. Squeezing the butt. See?
There it is.
Ooh, chef.
That's why I have a cigar room and an ex-wife.
2 very important things. Well, that's the argument for Shadowrun 6th edition, because there's no cap on the attributes. Why have skills?
Yeah.
If you can make your dexterity 12, then you're... Why even have firearms? Why even have pistols? Why even have offhand? If your dexterity's 12, you're like a god. You can pretty much walk up buildings.
On all of this stuff.
Yeah.
It becomes... Yeah, it's... That's what we used to joke about, the guys that always wanted to buy their characters in the online games. And before that, you couldn't buy your character for the tabletops. You know, we all had to roll them up. So you had to be careful, because there was that one guy that would always cheat their adjustments.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a 12 and everything. Bullshit. Come here.
It says on your character sheet that you have the Wand of Orcus. Oh, yeah, I found that in
Try again.
No. If you touch it, you die. If you touch the top of it, you die. No ifs, ands, or buts. No bullshit. You're just dead. You're standing in front of Orcus going, that's where I left it. Thank you very much.
That's right. Oh, there it is.
Wait a minute, I'm a demon. Ah! You know. Wait a minute, I'm the prince of demons.
That's right. You have a Lochnar? No, you don't. Stop watching movies. Come over here.
Because evil's a human concept, and it's not really evil as we classify it as evil. It's an individual, opportunity. It's, the ability to, it's a different skill used each time. So evil is an amalgam of stuff, really, just like this good is. Well, what's good? I mowed the neighbor's lawn yesterday. I didn't. I'm just using that hypothetically. Well, that was good. Well, she didn't give me any money. Well, that was evil. Well, I did it because she's really cool and nice, and she does stuff for me now and again. Well, that was good.
Goes to
Those things aren't really good or evil. They're just being a neighbor.
Good and evil is a construct based on perspective and societal norms based on that particular condition and situation. So if we were to look back, what's attributed to the Spartan society, would many of those things be considered evil today in Greece, let alone in, say, the United States?
Most of them would be. There is one Spartan belief that I stand behind 100%, and I wish the rest of the world was like that. If you've got it, don't flaunt it. The Spartans looked at flexing wealth as you're weak, and that's all you have to offer. You're not a warrior. You're not strong. If you have to brag about how much money you have or how much wealth you have, I've already, in their world, we've already defeated you on the battlefield. You're so poor, your cities don't have walls. Our warriors are our walls. You paid for walls? That's weak. How are you supposed to flank in your city when there's a wall in the way? How are you supposed to hold back the invading army? You don't. You cut them to pieces as they get closer and closer. Oh, yeah.
We don't let them get close.
You don't let them.
We meet them out there.
We throw spears at them until they're dead.
We do things that people don't want to have done to them, so that they don't want to.
Yeah. Like Vlad the Impaler. Yeah. You know, Dracula. I hate my neighbors. I know. I'll impale a bunch of them on 12-foot poles and then put up a tray and just have dinner. Hi! Oh, these your friends? Yeah, that one looks like your brother. That's too bad. Yeah. He's not a nice guy.
No.
Well, to his people he was. But not to the Muslims. Wallachia was Christian, remained Christian. Transylvania now it's called something else, isn't it? I can't.
Yeah, I can't keep track of that anymore.
Out in the dark Carpathian Mountains. There you go. There's my cheap, crappy Romanian gypsy woman.
I was gonna say, I don't have my big, my 1968 World Dictionary Almanac that weighs 400 pounds, the tome of all knowledge.
Yeah.
That I make the grandchildren use now so that they can go through and say, see, this is how we learned things before. Be thankful your little computer works.
I want to do another challenge to today directors, but the problem is that it could never happen. For one, most directors would never take... Some would jump all over this and love this. You have to take a crappy old movie from the 60s and keep the camp, but still make it good. Like Bert-I Gordon's The Magic Sword with Gary Lockwood and Anne Margaret and a very embarrassed Basil Rathbone and Estelle Winwood, because Basil Rathbone is supposed to be Lodak, and he's supposed to be this tremendously evil warrior. But when you see him the first time he comes on screen, he literally looks like a female gypsy teller that you'd find in a wagon. He's got the scarf and the hoop earring and the... So it's just like it ruins it the moment that he... The way they bring him in and they, you know... Because out of all the MST3K movies, I had that one on VHS. I got it from Mark Firestone, and I must have watched that like 50 times. Because I couldn't stop laughing about it. Because there were so many Dungeons & Dragons jokes and Ren Fair jokes in the thing, and, I don't know. That...
No, this before Dungeons & Dragons?
Oh, no. This is... Well, the movie, the original movie is, yes, but
the
MST3K
was not.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it was made in the 80s. Because remember, back in this is what I was explaining to, who was I talking to? We were talking about cons. Oh, Kim. We were talking about it. Kim, not Kim that lived here for a night, but Kim Bootflap, Frenchie's daughter. And I'm like, you got to remember that back in the day, the gaming room was huge, and the exhibitor room was like a closet. And you didn't have cosplay and all that other stuff. And, it was just a different world. And I explained to her something that isn't really popular in today's con, but was fantastically, hugely popular back in the day, in the mid and late 80s, before the internet, was the green room. And everybody would have their VHS tapes, and they'd have their name and address written on them, and it would be MST3K. And there were just stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of them on this TV in the room, and a bunch of snacks. Because you didn't have, put it on a television and set it up with the internet and let it play. Somebody's got 48 hours that didn't exist. You had to have someone there to keep bringing more Doritos and bringing more popcorn and okay, this one's done. I'm going to rewind it. We're going to watch another one.
Yep.
It's like, wow. I
actually got into the green room at San Diego one year.
Yeah?
Yeah, 96, 95, 96.
How was that?
It was interesting. There's a lot of food. There really wasn't anybody in there.
Really? Well, 90,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, the guy that I went with, he was friends with the co-creator of Cry for Dawn.
Really?
Yeah. And him and Linsner had split up. We weren't buddies with Linsner, we were buddies with the other guy. And he got us pro passes to San Diego Comic-Con. Before San Diego Comic-Con was San Diego. It was only a set of eyeballs.
It's gotten crazy out of control. But it started getting big long before Stranger Things. And I think it's a 4-factor evolution. So this is what I think, in a sense. Dungeons and Dragons keeps evolving. And then when you get to a point where you have Dragonlance, Kryn, Greyhawk, Toril for Forgotten Realms. What's the Dark Sun? It begins with an A. It sounds like Arrakis, but it's not Arrakis. But it's another planet. We can hear you snapping your lighter, but we can't see you. Do you remember what it's called, Rob?
I couldn't tell you.
But it's there is a desert planet world, and a lot of the wizards use they're called defilers. And they'll take a bush and kill it and take its magical energy and cast a lightning bolt with it. So the planet is desolate. The hard part about playing that is you have pretty much gladiator armor most of the time, where 80% of you is exposed, and you just have kind of the minimal. Because
Shoulder.
Yeah, and most of the armor is made out of leather or wood, which wood and metal are amazingly scarce in this world. You have to become more excited about finding a rusty old dagger than you would finding 10 gold pieces if you were level 3. Which 10 gold pieces at level 3 would be like, oh. So you have to have that kind of, because metal is damn near non-existent in this world. It belongs to all the bad guys. And then, what's the other? Spelljammer links all of the worlds together. In the meantime, for level 2, you've got cosplayers. you've got this whole group of people that have really got, because back in the day, it was random dudes that worked on their costume forever, and they couldn't order anything online, and they had to figure out how to make stuff and buy fabric from SAS or Joann's Fabric, or I can't remember what it was called before then, and then go to like Yellow Front and get some weird crafty stuff, or maybe Hobby Bench or Michael's.
Yeah, the thrift stores.
Yeah.
Thrift stores, and you went
Goodwill
and we went to the hardware store. Ace Hardware and O'Malley's was the place, because I could get all the wooden dowels, metal bits. You could buy all, yeah.
You had to figure it out. Or you had to, what are you doing? I'm trying to build this. I have no idea what that is. Okay, well, it looks like this and it functions like this. It's from this movie. I don't know what that movie is. Okay, in this other movie, they use this thing. Oh, I've seen that movie, and I know that thing. Okay, it kind of looks like that. Let me go find a picture of it. And then you'd have to go across the planet.
We had to have Grandpa. You found Grandpa, and you drew a picture for Grandpa, and Grandpa went, oh, shit, come over here. Let me show you how to make that on the lathe, or let me show you how to make this.
You make the mistake of showing them what it is in the movie, but it's not keyed up first, and then they see some of the movie, and they're like, what is this crap? Look, don't look at that. I want you to watch this. There, that thing. Why would you want something like that?
No, put the girl back on.
Put the girl back on. I don't want to watch it. Why would you want something like that? Don't ask why I want it. Just make it. Yeah. More discussions with my father. This is crap. Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons, you guys are weird.
Grandpa could get into it. He enjoyed it because he was a part owner in a toy store up here years ago.
Okay.
So he understood all that stuff. He loved to play. He also loved it. He loved to flip shit. So he would be, why are you looking at that? What is that?
What is this? No, don't touch that.
See, I think San Diego Comic-Con changed in the early 2000s.
Mm. Yeah.
I think after 2005.
Oh, let me give you my two. Second thing is video games were already on a rise. They had already taken over. Video games are dumbed down D&D for one person when, Diablo's fucking Dungeons and Dragons for one guy. The fourth thing is Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. So that's why. Go ahead though with your. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was kind of. I want to get.
No. I totally
three
get
more
it.
points.
I just think it was early 2000, after 2005, is when San Diego changed, and it was right or Iron Man came out.
Yeah.
Because it was the Marvel panel that they introduced Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, that everything shifted from comic book and comic book related items to pop culture.
It's really important too because Robert Downey Jr. is not doing well in 98, 99, and some of 2000. I mean,
early 2000, right?
Come 98 and 99, he's in rehab, I think, because he did really good, and then he had an incident, he fell off the wagon, and then he's like watching a drunk guy climb up a whole lot of steps, really, if in his life, where he finally gets to the. I'm a huge fan. I'm not putting him down. I love him from Weird Science. He's the best role in Johnny Be Good. He plays Anthony Michael Hall's goofy friend because he's a dick. And he played. Well, that's later on in his career. In the beginning of his career, before Less Than Zero, he plays the goofy sidekick. Remember in Weird Science, who were the good guys?
Anthony Michael Hall
and oh crap, what's his name? The guy who plays Wyatt. Because they're the guys that are picked on and made fun of and beaten up by everybody. But in the other side, who are the two bad guys, the boyfriends of the two girls that they're in love with, and one of them, I can't remember his name, but Robert Downey Jr. is Max. He's Mad Max. He's the best friend of the asshole of the school. I guess
it's how long since I've seen that movie.
It's really dated,
but
that. Yeah, it doesn't stand up to today. But he's a bad guy in that movie, and he's less than zero. They're all having problems with the powders, aren't they? And I gotta rewatch that one too. But he's kind of that, and it isn't until, like you said, Chaplin and the pickup artist, and what's the other one that was really? He did a really good job in the movie, but it just didn't get the press. And he wasn't the main character. He was one of the supporting characters. I can't remember the name of the film. And then Chaplin comes out strong, but it kind of peters off. Because once you find out more about the real Chaplin, a lot of the secrets come out. And he was kind of a dirty old man. Comic genius, not taking that away from him. But he also had the Stanley Kubrick effect of taking... 390 takes of a silent film with a movie going, "Flower, sir?" She's like, I couldn't feel my face by the time we were done.
Was Sherlock Holmes before Iron Man or after Iron Man?
After Iron Man.
Was it after?
Sure. I'm pretty sure. Now I gotta look. Damn it.
Yeah, when they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, I think that's when...
I think people were as confused and concerned as they were when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to play Batman. And everyone was like,
right.
Mr. Mom? No.
Where they're like, Robert Downey Jr. What?
That's how I was. They announced
I was all excited.
I was like,
Love brokers, ha ha ha. Okay, Chaplin comes out. Air America is in 1990. Chances are 89. True Believer, That's Adequate, 1969. 88. Johnny Be Good, Rented Lips, Less Than Zero. The Pickup Artist, America, Back to School. That's right. He plays Rodney Dangerfield's son's best friend, who has the dyed blue mohawk. He starts sabotaging all the divers on the other team at the other diver matches. He has the mirror, and to the other guy, the guy gets up there and he concentrates, and he goes to do the dive, and Robert Downey Jr. hits the air horn. And the guy does a terrible job, and they put the camera back on him, and they're like, "Please refrain in the stands from making loud noises." What? What? I don't know what you're this? Oh, I'm sorry. Dead Weight, Mussolini, Weird Science, Firstborn, Baby It's You. The Pound is the first movie he's in 1970. So, Air America, Too Much Sun, Chaplin, Heart and Souls. That's right. Because he plays like this, real character. But it's about, he's clairaudient and clairvoyant. He can see and hear ghosts. And they can use his body.
Where's Tropic Thunder on that?
Way later. We haven't even made it to Natural Born Killers yet, where he plays the obnoxious... Because Shortcuts, Hail Caesar, Natural Born Killers, Only You, Richard III, gotta watch that. Home for the Holidays, Willoughby's Christmas Tree, Restoration, Danger Zone, Hugo Pool, One Night Stand, Two Girls and a Guy, Gingerbread Man. Two Girls and a Guy was good, but it's he's dating both of them at the same time, and they show up and they're cool with one another. And they basically, he loses both girls, but they basically look at him and go, this is a shame, because we could have been a good thing all together. We could have been a thruple or a thruple or whatever.
Oh.
But they're both like, since you lied to us, nope, not going to happen. Bye. So he's like, at the end of the. It's well written. Gingerbread Man, U.S. Marshals, In Dreams, Friends and Lovers, Bowfinger, Black and White, Wonder Boys, Auto Moves, Elton John, Lethargy, Ally McBeal, Singing Detective, Whatever We Do. See, everybody just, well, he's Iron Man. Dude, he's done. So, he's been in 91 movies. Good Night and Good Luck. I have that one. I got to watch it. I keep forgetting to watch that. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I've only seen parts of that one. Gothica. I've only seen parts of that one. That
one's really good with Halle Berry.
That's what I've heard. The Route V50,
yeah, really
Eros, good. Game 6, Family Guy, Shaggy Dog, Scanner Darkly. He plays the weird friend. Fur, Zodiac, Vanity Fair, Lucky You. Iron Man isn't until 2008.
Yep.
So Iron Man, video game. The Incredible Hulk. Oh, that's right, he's at the very end of that. Tropic Thunder is in 2008. Tropic Thunder.
Is it?
Reign of Madness, the soloist.
That probably came out before Iron Man, didn't it?
Sherlock Holmes is 2009. They have it listed as after, but you're right, it is the same year. So... Because Avengers doesn't come out until after the second Sherlock Holmes. Because Iron Man...
Yeah, Avengers is 2012.
Iron Man 2 is 2010, Love and Distrust 2010, Due Date 2010, Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows 2011. I mean, he's been working. It takes 6 months to make one of these movies. They work 6 days a week, 18 hours a day. I've been an extra. It kind of sucks because everybody's like, are you going to do it again? And that's why they're always like, oh, the money's right. Yeah, I'll do that again. The Judge, The Chef, Avengers Age of Ultron, America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, NBA, okay, Infinity War, Endgame, Doolittle, Oppenheimer, Sympathizer, Fantastic Four, First Steps. He plays Victor Von Doom. That's awesome that he plays Doom. So, yeah.
Oppenheimer was really good. I enjoyed that movie.
Robert Downey Jr. was born. His birthday just happened 3 days ago, April 4th, 1965. Manhattan, New York. He's an Aries.
Did you watch his dad's documentary about his dad on Netflix?
His father, the director? No, I have not.
Yeah.
I haven't. He's only 5'8".
You need to watch
I thought he was taller.
He's only 5'8"?
Yeah. Holy crap, I'm taller than him. I didn't know. So embarrassed.
But yeah, the documentary about his dad is really good.
Right on.
Really, really good. It made me cry.
Oh. Watch this. You should watch it. You'll be depressed.
No, it was a good cry.
I know. I'm just...
Good cry. Because his dad died from... like cancer or something.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm making light, but I'm not making light. My father died. It was the worst day of my life.
I never knew my father, so...
You're one step ahead. There you go. It's not a contest. Everybody, the amount of suffering I've got. It's not a contest. It's just life. Some people are lucky,
Nope.
Some people aren't.
But yeah, I think right before Iron Man came out is when San Diego Comic-Con shifted more pop culture.
Yeah, because if you remember here in Arizona, it went from being in Mesa to, and then, was it Matt? Moved it downtown to Phoenix.
Well, the very first one was in Tempe.
Well, probably, I don't.
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
2006.
2002?
2002?
2002, the Cactus Comic Con.
One more time.
It was called the Cactus Comic Con.
Yes, it was.
And then it went from there to Glendale Civic Center for a couple of years. And then it moved downtown to the Civic Center.
Mm.
If I'm remembering right.
Does Leprechaun still exist?
I don't think so. I think Leprechaun and CopperCon are both gone.
Really?
I think
Shows
so.
you how old I am. Those were the ones that I went. Leprechaun, CopperCon, Tuskcon. Those were the cons I knew. The one year we had the convention down in Casa Grande.
No, it still exists. Wait,
Is it?
hold on. Let me, before I get all excited. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying that one of the ones that will always stand out was one year they moved. And I don't remember from CopperCon or Leprechaun, whatever and they might have called it Casa Grande Con for all I can remember, but we actually had it Casa Grande.
Uh-huh.
So everybody, that was the big thing was, well, people can come up from Tucson and come down from Phoenix, and it would be, it'd be nice in the middle. And it was in the middle of summer, the middle of monsoon, and that weekend we had one of the biggest storms for most of Saturday. Was no power to the hotel.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
So it was something. I mean, you filled a room full of con geeks and Ren Fair folks and SCA people and everything. So what do? We make the best of it. We took over the golf course and we were having a field day and everything happened outside. I mean, it was an event. The power came on eventually and everybody was back inside, but it was, I mean, everybody's pissed off and grumbling, and the hotel did the best to try and help us and take care of us and all that they could do.
Pool noodles at the ready! Make them pay!
So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a convention to remember. That was the part that stood out.
So funny.
It was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. And
that was cool. That's cool.
They made a bad situation good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I've never been to either one of those, to CopperCon or Leprechaun. I've never been to any one of those.
They were small. They were fun. They usually happened at the Safari Hotel, which used to be just north of Camelback and Scottsdale Road. It's gone. It's been gone for decades. Yep. The last one in the early 90s, it was at the Wyndham that was on Indian Bend between Hayden and Scottsdale roads, because it's part of a golf course and a wash.
Yep, and we also had a couple of them downtown at the Hyatt and the Wyndham downtown.
Yeah. Because
you'd get kicked out of one, so they'd let you in the other.
Yeah.
It just took long enough for the hotel to forget how much fun they had.
That's the other problem with a bunch of geeks and guys. The wild parties happen out at the desert. That's what those are for. This is a gaming convention. Never mind. We're not going to be able to come back here. That's
you remember the hotel that used to be on Greenway and the I-17? It's now a big elder care facility. That was one of the last cons that I went to, because the whole hotel essentially was taken over for that convention. We had their convention area and everything else. It was really nice. It was a lot of fun, but it was that one was an adventure because that hotel was all outdoor. Really? So when you went from room to room, it was all outdoors, and that was those were summertime cons.
It was an elf theme hotel. Even the rooms were outside.
That one was interesting, and
Oh, I got incense ash.
There was the hotel that was across the street from it that we got to use one year, but that one only happened one time. So there were, in those days, in the 80s and the 90s, we were bad about paying bills, apparently. Or we just, we were rapscallion. We were out there causing all kinds of hell and havoc. And the Safari was the only hotel that was willing to keep us around until they went belly up.
Yeah. Nothing's changed. I just did security for 9 months at the Tapatio Cliffs, and people skip out on hotel tabs all the time.
Oh, yeah, but you don't see the Tapatio Cliffs saying, hey, why don't you and 10,000 of your closest geeky friends come stick around down here and we'll have a good time.
You guys have no idea. It isn't just that hotel. There's a decline in all kind of convention attendance. People are struggling. Sign up, it's just the way things are. You don't have the money to go out and...
The cons that I hear about today are not... I mean, have they been having the cons in hotels? They seem to be having them in a convention center.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes into town, there's a hotel nearby that people will stay at and things like that. But you don't have the same... It's not the same character that it used to be. When you had... The hotel had a convention area, so they may have had 2 ballrooms and a large area and a couple of suites that they used for conventions, and the convention used that space.
Well,
but then you always had the official con suites and then the unofficial con suites and all the rest of that stuff.
Then you have that stuff, and then you have what was it, Kris, 12 years ago, where Will Wheaton and James Marsden were hanging out. Spike from Buffy and Will Crusher, and one of them threw up inside the General Lee car, was the rumor. I don't know if this actually happened, but that was the buzz.
I don't remember that. I wish I could have been there for that.
It was like 2009 or 2000. No, it had to be after 9, because...
The cons were always fun as a young man.
Yeah.
Because you had the vendor's room, and then you had all the panels, and you had all those things. So there was something to do from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And they would finish up with the grand parade, and you'd have the big ballroom event, whatever it is, wrapped by 9 o'clock. But by 8:30, the party rooms were starting. And the con would be open until midnight, but the unofficial con suites would be open 24 hours. And then there was always this group and that group and this other group and somebody else.
Ones and these guys, and we're gonna play we're gonna LARP vampire all night. Okay, I'm leaving.
And there would be the wild parties, and you would get the people of questionable ethical values showing up and doing all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah.
There were a lot of adults made at convention. Leave it that way.
That's a good way to put it.
A lot of people came of age.
The really crazy thing is the switch in the attendance. How females used to be, real females, used to be few and far between at a convention. And the last one I was at, 2012 or something, of that, you couldn't throw a stick without hitting a girl in a cosplay outfit. I know, she's in your chair. What are you going to do, Stella?
Yeah, there were always girls at the con.
Yeah.
But they were there as a group, or they were there with their boyfriends.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Or, they were there for something specific. There was always the girls that were part of the costuming crowd.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that would show up to make the really elaborate whatever costumes. And then there were those you had some that were into specific areas. So there were those that were into the comic. There were those that were into some of the gaming. There were those that were into some of the other things. And they would be there for the LARPing as the years went along.
Yeah.
They enjoyed that. But you're right. You didn't see a lot of, in my day, you didn't see a lot of people walking around during the day in their costumes. Their costuming was saved. Yeah, the costuming was saved for when they had the grand ball, and you had the costume contest, You would have the grand processional of all the costumes, and everybody wanted to be a part of that. But you saved your costume because you didn't want everybody to see what you had just spent the last 12 months making since last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Apparently, Stella needs love.
But to answer your question from earlier, Rob, about still going to hotels, right now, horror conventions are doing the hotels.
Okay.
Like Mad Monster Party and Bianca's Artist Horror Fest, both in hotels.
So that tells you how old I am. The last horror cons I went to, the original Mad Monster Party in LA, when it was still for, you had the horror folks, but it was big on the model makers for the Mad Monster Party. And then the Fangorias. Used to go to the Fangorias in LA.
Ow,
and
shit.
That was always interesting. I got to meet Cassandra Peterson and Reggie Bannister and Screaming Mad George and sit with these guys. Just sit with them as we're sitting down now and just talk about anything. And that was always, that was a hoot. To sit in the Anaheim, I think it was the Anaheim Hilton at the airport, sitting in the bar, and all of these people that I knew third hand through friends or friends of friends that were coming into the bar because we were there early, early Thursday. And we had gotten there and we were meeting with Reggie Bannister because he was a friend of my buddy Dave's, and we were just shooting. And people are walking in and he's just like, hey, come on over, have a seat. I want to introduce you to. And you're just like, oh, this is so cool. But you're just sitting there shooting the breeze with somebody. Where'd you come in from? Oh, I was just over here. We were doing this. And
cool.
You were on your best behavior. You weren't geeking out. So we got to walk to Burger King, of all places, with Screaming Mad George and the guys from Troma Video. And we just walked down there, we're sitting in the back having Big Mac or having Whoppers and onion rings, and just shooting this shit about what we do in Phoenix on a weekend just to have a good time. Because they were tired of talking about movies and this and that and the other thing.
Class of Nukem High and...
and they're like, so what do you guys do on the weekend? Oh, shit, we go shoot. You guys go shoot? We got to come to Phoenix. Come on out to Phoenix. We have a good time.
We shoot stuff. We shoot everything. There's holes all across the country.
We take you out to the desert. If it ain't moving, you can shoot at it. If you have a license, you can shoot at it if it's moving and you can identify it.
If you love water, you can get a license to shoot one while it's under the water. You can get
I could take you to a lake, put you in the boat, and you can shoot at the
Phoenix is an interesting town. My favorite is the HOV lane. Now, I've tried many methods. Mannequins are really kind of a waste of time because the extra strings that you have to pull to make that mannequin look lifelike in your passenger seat are really going through a bunch of extra steps.
That's right.
Then
hitchhikers can be a pain in the ass.
Well, I kind of got discouraged because every time I had him in the driver's seat, he kept running into that sidewall.
That's right. I wasn't driving.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, he's been drinking. This is a mannequin. Get out of the car.
That's right. Step out.
Oh, all right. I must.
That's when you make the mannequin a robot and you have the mannequin step out too.
Yeah. That's an awesome comic book story, but I don't have those abilities.
No, that's the Gabriel Iglesias routine. Police officer's not paying attention, and you hop over to the other seat before he realizes it. He rolls up. He's shining the light in the driver's side. Oh, hell no, I've been drinking. I don't know where the hell he went.
That's one of my favorite bits.
But yeah, what else do we have? The stupid motorist law. That's my favorite one.
Oh, yes. Originally written for the city of Scottsdale.
Well, people that have lived here a while know about flash floods, and if you see something that even looks like a flash flood, just forget it. Just don't.
In the summertime, there's storms happening anywhere around the valley, this is a low spot. I plan my travels around the low spots.
Because flash floods only happen in this state for two reasons. The first, what you said, and the two is like, if it's raining somewhere else and one of the levees or canals either overflows or breaks, or one of the, but the second one is super rare. It happens, but it's super rare, and they usually know right away, and we have the technology to get the word out. But the storm, monsoon, flash flood, just stay in your fucking house.
Yep. And
don't go anywhere.
For decades, when I was growing up, I remember, and I think I've spoken of this before because I'm old and doddering, and I tend to repeat myself.
We repeat ourselves all the time. Okay.
In the old days,
we tend to repeat ourselves.
In the time before.
In the before times.
You used to have radio commercials every year in May. They would start the radio commercial and the TV commercial. The monsoon is coming.
Yeah.
When the monsoon gets here, if you see storm clouds, stay out of low-lying areas. And that was a recurring theme. It was on every day, a couple times a day, on every radio station, every television station. It was there to remind us. And so that just became the norm. That was, you thought about it. Monsoon's coming. Hey, check it out. Storm's coming. We need to go down and check the canal and see how the water's running. Because that was fun for the kids to watch the stream start to fill up, but you watched it from high ground. So
yeah.
But then they stopped doing that over the years, and people didn't think about it. I think the best example of it was as they started originally building the Tempe town in the dry Salt River bed, and they put up the original dams that they were going to use to hold the water. First monsoon came through, and they had to release water from the scar chain, Saguaro, Roosevelt, Canyon, Apache. And they let the water come down, and everybody said, oh, we spent millions and millions and millions of dollars, and these dams are designed so that we could just open them up and let the water run through. That first storm blew the dams out, carried them down to Mexico. Gone. Nice to see you. Appreciate it.
Any humans in the way? Godspeed. Good luck.
And we sat around, and those of us who had been here for a long time said, this isn't going to work, guys. This river is dry today because it only runs for a couple of weeks out of the year, and it'll run bank to bank, and it'll carry a battleship with it when it needs to. Then they put the new dams up, which work better, and we haven't had the same level of rainfall where we've had to do some of the releases, but they did scare themselves pretty good a couple of times.
Well, and that's, unless you're here for monsoon season, and you would see that, it's like the movie Bug's Life, where there's no rain, and then all of a sudden there's rain, and the area goes from dry and arid and barren to fucking Splash Mountain. Yeah. Well, it's it's video game worthy at that point. So, but if you don't live here, it's the same thing with the snowbirds. When the snowbird isn't really an insult. Snowbird is a classification. Oh, John's mother-in-law is a snowbird. Oh, good for her. We know lots of snowbirds. There's nothing wrong with them. Now, individuals are going to be assholes, but for the most part, snowbirds are good for the economy. Snowbirds have a mobile home or a home out here, and they leave, next month, May, near the end of May, when it gets really hot. And then they don't
when
come.
The first real 100 degrees shows up, they fly back to wherever
Minnesota
more temperate
or Wisconsin or New York or Connecticut, and then they live there from May to usually November. because
for snow flurries, the big snowflake.
Yeah, because it's still really warm here in the middle of October. You're still having 90 degree, 95, 100 degree days. So being a snowbird or being called a snowbird isn't really a snowbird. Well, yeah, that's what they are. You human. Well, yeah, he's a human. But
the connotation is because we suddenly have a large influx of
people that aren't good at driving the way we drive.
Well, we have a large influx of retirees, of 100% retired. So generally, they're folks that are in their late 60s on up. And those tend to be the difficult drivers anywhere because they recognize most often that they have slower reflexes. They're going to drive their vehicles slower. They tend to drive larger, older vehicles because safety factor, comfort, all the rest of that. So it tends to be that was the snowbird thing. Exactly. I want plenty of steel between me and Martha and the outside world.
We need a Lincoln. We're going to go across the country. Oh, God.
I need get the '65 Cadillac Eldorado. We're going.
My son and her son-in-law mapped out the route for us. You're taking 40, right? Yeah. Oh, good. Just stay on the 40.
And they highlighted it in the Rand McNally for us, so we just keep going. Page 1 to page 7. Here's how we're going. And they gave us plenty of quarters to call every time we get to each stop.
My grandson's an artist. Look, it's like a pop-up book. Isn't that nice? All the Post-it notes.
And all the young people listening right now have no idea what the hell we're talking
about. Just get GPS. God, don't you have that on your phone?
Use your cell phone.
Use your cell phone.
Yeah.
You would have not survived in Treasure Island. Pieces of 8.
Well, that's like
Lord of the Fly.
Fuck no.
What's the popular meme I've seen of late on Facebook again is no kidding, kids. There was a time back in the 70s and 80s. There was a phone number you could call to find out what time it was.
You liar! I posted that today.
I've seen that multiple times over the last few months again. It's just
it's funny. And it's true.
Those the one, yeah.
Movie phone. Tonight's theater. RoboCop playing at 8:30. 10:30. 1 a.m.
I miss movie phone.
Me too. The continuing adventures of Pippi Longstocking this summer.
That's right. How many people even know what a collect call is today?
They
or
don't.
About an operator-assisted call.
Yeah.
I need to make a call to an area where I need to talk operator to operator.
Yeah.
Or you calling, yes, I'd like to go operator to person or person to person with Tucson 1725.
Cell phones. Payphones still exist, but I'm hard-pressed to name where one is.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was one in Tucson, a restaurant over by the convention center, but it didn't have the receiver. It was just payphone on the wall.
Somebody stole the receiver for...
They stole the receiver off the payphone.
What a useless win that is. I got a receiver.
The Congress Hotel downtown Tucson. Last time I was there, it's been a few years since before my aunt passed away. I used to live in Armory Park downtown.
Mm.
They still had 3 of the oak and mahogany phone booths with the seat and you walked in there and you could close the door.
Right there, and you could.
I saw those. I walked in. I was like,
glass.
Oh, I remember this.
Holy crap! What? Now it's a way to order an Uber driver or a Lyft. Hi, yes, no, going to the museum. Okay. Wow. Well, our world has changed. they used to theorize that we were going to be heading on our way to Mars by now and already having lunch at the moon and everything's automatic. And I still have to scrub all my dishes, dude, before I put them in the dishwasher.
That's right. So tell us, Mr. Bunny, how are things on the moon?
Well, the moon is... Sorry.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, Mr. Bunny? Yes. Get me out of here! It took them 29 years to build a ladder tall enough to get me down.
Get me out of here. What's up, Doc? You Martians. Did you ever get the feeling you're being wanted? People! La-da-dee-dee-da-da-da, abracapulque.
Wouldn't hit a bat with glass.
Bam! Yes, I would.
I miss those cartoons.
Every day of my life. We are the last of the Warner Brothers generation, and our children are the grasping memories of that, where it's in the very edge of the zeitgeist, and they can remember it, but it's not. Where are they? I mean, Chuck Jones did how many of those?
Yep. They did they got the end of the Tiny Toons. And the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister died.
The Animaniacs?
Yep. So they got that portion of it. My boys got that bit of it.
But the original...
As it came along, because it came back.
And they were
but
good.
The original's not.
Yeah, Tiny Toons, I got sick of them quick. But, I mean, it's not like, I hated it after a while. But, and the Animaniacs were good.
Yeah, and they tried to revive the Animaniacs. And that was a nice run. That was nostalgic for us.
Yeah. And it's all the voice actors we love. It's just, because you love all the voice actors. You love all those guys. You love Frank Welker is still alive. He's been every goddamn animal in Disney and Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera for 60 plus years. And he's the original Fred, and he plays Fred most of the time when it's... Well, Casey Kasem's dead. He can't be Shaggy anymore. Zoinks, like, wow, man. Back in 1958. Zoinks. See, I want him to do Shaggy, but as the radio announcer voice. And then do a radio show as Shaggy. I got another record coming up. Scoob, you're going to love this one. Oh, no.
No, I like Matthew Lillard as Shaggy.
Oh, he's the best. Oh, no, we found a clue. Much like this song from 1962. A well-known hit, I've Got a Clue, by Guy Dude Human Man. Hey. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to. Matthew, that whole with Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne and Freddie Prinze Jr. as Fred and Super Hotness as Velma, that was a great movie. Your name's Mary Jane? That's my favorite name. Oh, really? It was very well done. Well, the CGI. If you're judging movies on special effects, then you have no appreciation for the time period of the special effects. That's why I was really geeking out when Stranger Things came out, because Stranger Things is the best way to show our grandchildren and our children what it was like in the 80s, because when you show them those movies, if they aren't young, they're like, you guys were excited about these special effects? 40 years ago, these were state-of-the-art, This is so cheesy and lame. Yes, it was, and we loved every second of it.
Yep. Because we had never seen anything like that before.
Yes.
Wait, let me show you my first video game, The Palm.
See how I twist the dial. Watch how the white ball moves against the black midnight abyss screen that goes forever. What holds it afloat, we wonder?
The original mechanical one. Bonk. Bonk. Bonk.
It was like you could play by yourself. It was this thing with two knobs. 3 different switches. When the old man had it, he brought it home. Look what I got.
Early Etch-a-Sketch. Look.
Pretty much. It's what it kind of looked like, an upside-down Etch-a-Sketch. It's only white. And what's another? Oh, Leprechaun 47 looks to be the last one. March 2021. 5 years ago.
Leprechaun 47? Holy shit.
You guys thought it died a while ago. Leprechaun in 2020, 46 was about to happen, but it was canceled because of COVID-19. That's kind of sucks that it lost momentum and then it died. Because it was more an artist and movie and gaming con. That's the other thing, too, is the Phoenix Comic-Con has pushed the other Comic-Cons into extinction because they just don't have the pull with the exhibitor room. Because that's not what these conventions are about. Dude, it's not about shopping at this one. It's about games. It's about the movie room. It's about indie films that some dude made with his grandmother's Super 8 camera and found either Costco or that one little developing company that still does, 8mm. And now that's going to be the greatest movie anybody's ever saw in 5 years once he gets...
And the cosplay.
Yeah.
And everybody in their costumes.
I think Tucson is the superior convention. Compared to Fan Fusion, Tucson Comic-Con is superior.
I haven't been to either, so I will take your word for it because...
I've been going to Fan Fusion since it was Comic-Con.
Gotcha.
But I've vended at Tucson Comic-Con for 4 years. As a vendor, Tucson Comic-Con is much superior customer service-wise. If I needed something from Tucson Comic-Con as a vendor, or even as a fan, their people were like on it. Like, 1 year I went, Chandler Riggs was there.
Really?
He was from Walking Dead. He played Carl from The Walking Dead.
Carl! God, I bet he fucking hates that by now. Yeah. I wish I'd never played that role. Dude, it's money. Go.
My son had 250 of The Walking Dead that I had got him. It was like one of the Samurai Comics blind bag specials, and it had
nice.
Carl, the gun. And I went to them. He was there at Tucson, and I said, "Hey, have anybody to man my booth for me so I can't stand in line? Can you use this autograph? Like, give me the cash. Make sure that he gets it. He gets it, and he gets it signed. 15 minutes, I had it back at my table, autographed by Chandler Riggs.
Well done.
That is just amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing. So, I highly recommend Tucson Comic-Con.
Right now, and I was telling Tatton, the mission is to scout out, and it'll be good for the council for content. Medieval Mayhem happens in July. It's in Payson. And...
What is Medieval Mayhem?
Mini Ren Fair, more vendor-oriented, local vendor-oriented, less performing. But it's in July.
Should there be more performing and less vendors?
Well, I mean, you have your local vendors that don't travel. They just buy a booth at Ren Fair, and this is another... I don't know. Should the Pirates get a booth out there? Is it worth their time? Frenchie didn't really seem interested in Tatton. I didn't really talk to him about it. It was just mentioned in passing. And then, at different times... Apparently, at the first weekend of August, there is a pirate festival in Bisbee, Arizona, and it shuts the whole town down. So, two different people on two vastly different weekends told us about this festival. It's like 7, 8, 9 this year, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the entire town goes to this festival.
That's...
So
sounds like some of the local Highland games that pop. So you get Highland Games up in Flagstaff, stuff like that, where it's a smaller group, but it's locals and some of the folks that travel to do some of these on an off weekend. They'll show up for the smaller regional stuff. But they're fun.
Yeah,
those
they
are
can
neat.
still
You get to do stuff.
sell their stuff and meet people. And so not everybody gets time to talk to everybody out at fair. You meet a lot of cool people and you have no time to talk to them, and then you don't see them for a year.
And these are the events that kind of that fill out the year. So you have the large Renaissance events where you've got a month, 2 months where you're making good money, but then you've got a hiatus that comes in and, well, I can do this weekend event here, I can do this 1 week event over here, and these cover me until next big event that pops.
Because the Wild Wild West Con is supposed to be over.
Question.
Go.
Hypothetically.
Uh-oh.
Hypothetically speaking.
That's contagious.
Yes, it is. Hypothetically speaking, if there was a small one-day convention, you could do your wares at.
All my steampunk stuff.
Would anybody be interested?
You're being very sheepish about this. Cut to the chase.
I'm not allowed to say anything yet. I can't say anything yet because it's literally... We went and saw the venue again today.
Uh-huh.
Enough of the foreplay, Taylor. What are you talking about?
Spit it out. Yes, I would be interested, yes.
I literally can't. I can't say anything yet. There might be a small Saturday convention coming up in August that I might be a part of.
Right on.
And finding out today that it's going to be a 21 and over only.
Sexy. Go ahead.
Either of you are interested in
Sexy.
Space?
Sure, why not? Where is Mesa?
No, it's going to be downtown Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Downtown Phoenix. It'd be maybe about 6 hours.
I don't know. There could be females there. They could be men dressed as women. No one knows.
There are females there. I think I mentioned it to you, Bill. I asked you not to say anything. I might have mentioned it the other day.
That's what. Okay. Glad.
That's what I'm talking about. You went and saw the venue again today.
Yeah, that would. Well, I already told you I was interested in that. Why are you asking again if you don't want to talk about it? If it's a secret, stop talking about it, Kris.
and in the swords out, if he.
Okay. Say no more until it's solid, in stone.
Okay.
Ready to go. Because I would have to save up money to do it anyway, to buy a booth.
What do you think we're going to charge?
It's really not my place, is it? That's the same thing as going to a job interview. What's your pay? What do you want to get paid? No, that's not how this works. You tell me what the job pays. $1 million. Yeah. No, I don't know. What? 50, 60, $100? I don't know what a booth goes for these days. $20? Is it 1985?
Somewhere around there. We haven't set a price yet, but it'll be less. It might be less than 50.
Then I'm definitely sold. I can make back $50 in steampunk guns in a matter of a couple hours, especially to the right crowd.
There you go. There you go.
Ice to an Eskimo. Ketchup popsicle to a lady with white gloves. Well, Rob and I talked about, Jingo and I talked about it on the last one. And he's right, if I believe in the product, and I believe in the people selling the product, I and this is a good product. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But if it's here, sell this timeshare. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I am Bill. Oh, God. They hung up on me. Yeah.
This is Bill from Timeshares America. You've got to have one of these.
Yeah.
You can't live without it. You can't buy. Hello?
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 We gotta switch it up again. Curse the days of no vacations. Behold the share of time that awaits you. Hello?
Before you say no, wait a minute.
Hello? Oh. That's why I kept practicing the fast talk with, and I know I've said it before, sorry. Guy gets all mad when we repeat stuff. But when telemarketers call, are you hiring? Can I give you my email? Can I get your email? How about your boss's email? What about the email for the company? How do I get my resume to him? Do I have your phone number, their phone number? Does he have a secretary? What's her name? Does she have an email there at the thing? How much do they pay? Is there a 401k? How much sick time do you get? How much PTO time do you get? How much?
What's your training stats?
It was 3 years till another telemarketer called me back. They put you on the do not call list that you don't even ask to be put on, because there's no point in calling you back if you're broke and you don't have a job. They're going to wait a couple years till you build up a little bit of credibility and wherewithal before they start. Hi, how are your windows? Well, mostly new. They're only mostly new.
I wait for him to call looking for Dad. Okay, hang on a second. You're gonna have to talk loud. He's real hard of hearing. Hang on a second. Let me say, Dad.
That's
Dad,
mean.
phone's for you.
He didn't answer. I don't understand. I put the phone and I yelled right up into the urn. He didn't say anything?
Yeah, he yelled. You gotta yell.
Oh, yeah, you really got to.
No, he won't wear.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Rob, you started digitizing. We lost you. He's frozen.
Oh. He's frozen.
He's frozen in time. Oh, now you're moving. He would wear.
Oh, no.
No, you just tell him. When you put the phone up, you say, you got to yell real loud. He refuses to wear the hearing aids.
That's funny.
I did that for my mom after Dad passed away, and somebody called for him. And I said, give me the phone. What? Give me the phone. And I set it down, and she looks at me. That's horrible. I said, no, it's absolutely hilarious. Leave it alone for a while. They will stop calling back.
Leave it alone for a while. Don't pick at it. It'll heal. That's awesome. Well, being a telemarketer, it sucks. I've done it. I've done it several times. Mortgages were the easiest, but I had a warm lead list, so these were rich people in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley and Pinnacle Peak and all those Troon, and they wanted to refi. They don't pay.
That was the
off.
Insurance sales. When I was doing Medicare, Medicaid, all of that, they were calling in to me, or they were putting their name to get a referral, so that I was calling to somebody who wanted to hear from me. Yeah. So that made it a lot easier. Now, they didn't always like what I could or could not provide, but at least I got the opportunity to do it.
They had options.
I was the bad guy because I wasn't in the company. I was the bad guy because I wasn't the killer. I didn't go for the kill. And I had one of those sales managers that used to stand right behind me. Go for the kill. Go for the kill. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jacobson. Can I put you on hold for just one moment? Thank you. I'll be right back. Click. Get away from me or I will kill you right here.
I will turn you into a pretzel and throw you into the dumpster. And when you wake up, you're going to be asking God why you made such a bad decision.
I did that one time. I was sitting there middle of Medicare season, and he's right here, listening in. Go for the kill. Go for the kill. Go for the kill.
He's like a Muppet.
I put this nice lady on hold, and I turned around and I stood up and I dressed him down for about 2 minutes. And I let him know I'd been involved in insurance longer than he'd been alive because of my father, my stepfather, and all of the work I had done with them and everything else. And I said, walk away. I will take care of my customers, my clients. And then I got back on, and it was, my calls were like an average of 45 minutes, because this is a 68, 78, 88-year-old woman, and she wants to know. And by the time I was done, I sold, and I had steady sales. And he just looked at me one day. It's like, buddy, not only have I been selling to new customers, but I had been saving customers. I had people who were calling in who already had plans, and I was saving them. And he's like, no, you got to get the new ones, because that's where the commissions come. I said, no. If I save the customer, we spent less money keeping them. You see those bright white things over your head? They stay on and don't flicker.
Yeah.
If we keep customers in the organization, as opposed to watching them fly away every 12 months.
You're the top guy. You want the end of the month success rate. You gotta, with insurance and with some other items, you gotta be Hank Hill. You gotta educate the customer, Bobby. You have to let them make their own decision and figure it out on their own. Well, even like for working for the last 9 weekends with Frenchie and Tatton, I have a very, wild and crazy sales pitch. I'm loud, I'm forceful, I come in hard with the jokes. So I'm more like Tommy Boy in my approach from how to get sales, where when they walk over to Frenchie, it's more like buying something from the Fonz. Hey, how you doing? You want to see something cool? And then he shows you a bunch of cool stuff, and most of the people end up buying it, but he's the, Tatton and Frenchie, Mike and Mark, they are Crystal Cast. And then having the Stranger Things die in the show, because apparently Frenchie, they didn't even know that they bought it at a convention or off the internet. They don't know how they got it, but they're watching it and they're like, wait a minute, that's one of ours. Because they're all hand carved, so most of them are perfect, but they're not all perfect. Human error. I need the weighted dice. Brother, they'd be a lot more than $60 if we were going to be selling weighted dice. They'd probably be triple that if you want to roll a 20 each time. You don't do anything like...
I'm selling you sticky die,
yeah,
you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, you don't have anything like that? Fuck no, I would have bought all of those if I knew that existed.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, those? Yeah, these are coming home with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to quadruple the price and sell them out of my house, And I'm not stupid. But the cubic zirconia... Is it cubic zirconian or cubic zirconia?
I believe it's zirconia.
Man-made diamonds. That was the most expensive set, and I think I sold 2 of them. Because they were $120 for all 7?
That actually sounds pretty cheap for
dice that last forever. And I use the pitch, you don't need a wedding ring, just buy her the dice. You're going to get a lot more use out of the dice than you ever will the ring, and they're going to tell you it's too small anyway.
And she's going to be showing it off to all of your friends.
Yeah.
Look what he got for me!
Oh my God! And they do reflect the shiny very well. So Frenchie will give them, go ahead and take these out there. Be sure to make a big deal about it. And they do, and it's funny. It's comical. Oh, wow! And then they come back in and they're like, wow, they really do sparkle like a disco ball. So I'll start singing disco inferno. Burn, baby, burn. Disco inferno.
Fireball!
Yeah. Oh my. Pete sent something, but I don't have time to watch it right now because I'm in the middle of doing a podcast. Why don't you come on the podcast and talk about Chevys and how much you hate Fords for 2 hours? Rick and Pete, it's always because my dad never did that. It was never, this is this brand, this is the reason it sucked. He only did that with a couple that was the problem with all of them, or it was a factory defect, like a Pinto joke, you know.
Yeah.
But the first problem is it's a Ford. And like I keep saying all the time, okay, it's from another factory, not another planet. It's still an engine. It's still internal combustion. It still runs on the same premise. Oh, my God. Stop with the Ford hate. So I got a Ford. So what?
See, Grandpa always had Fords, but we also had the Ranch. And you also had, Grandpa was like, does it run? No, bring it over here. Now it runs. So it's a good car. And off we go. And he was the one that kind of got me in the mindset. And you know, my dad's father was the same way. These were guys that would go, oh, you've got a 1962 Schweizenheimer. Great. But you need an alternator, and we can't get a Schweizenheimer alternator. Go to that Chevy and bring me that alternator. I'm going to show you how to make it fit. We're going to make it work.
We're going to grind it down
the road.
We're going to make a new bracket.
That was the whole thing. Oh, the motor blew out on your Schwarzkopf? Well, come over here. We've got this one over here. We're going to put that in there. Well, they won't bolt up. Go get that grinder and the drill. I'll show you how to make them fit.
I saw a guy with a Zephyr in his yard, and I bought the... I'm sure it might fit. It does fit. Fantastic.
Right. Put this bolt here, and then you got to take this and put your foot in it.
Yeah. It's crazy because that's the problem is my father said when I was 15, you're looking at used cars now because they're affordable. But the problem is, and I'll never forget this, when you buy a used car, you're buying someone else's massive problems at a discount. That's why he's the genius of the family.
Right, it's the opportunity cost.
I never thought about it that way. He's like, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know how much sawdust is in the transmission. And then he went through a list. And like half the stuff they did, wait a minute, wasn't that on used cars? Oh, they've been doing that long before that movie came out. That's an old trick. Why would they put sawdust in a transmission? Well, before they get broken down, the wood pieces quiet down the misbehaving gears, or they kind of grab the gears as it's not shifting correctly, and it'll run okay for a while. And then all of a sudden you don't have third gear, or you can't put it in reverse. Oh, you could put it in reverse.
Fills in the spaces, and it can help to hide the problem with synchronizers on manual transmissions and all the rest of that good stuff.
But after a while...
See, and that was the reason why my father, Grandpa, my grandfather, these guys were always the same way. You're going to get a used car. Well, why? Because you're going to learn how to fix it. Whatever you buy, you're going to fix. So that's all there is to it. So I learned how to, back in those days, the first starter that I ever replaced wasn't a replacement. It was go down, the starter's not good. Okay, we're going to take the starter over to the auto parts store, and the guy's going to put it on the test bench. We're going to spin it up. We're going to find out what's wrong with it. And then he's going to go and he's going to get you the kit. And you're going to learn how to take it apart, put the parts in it, put it back together again.
Yep.
And then we're going to take it, and he's going to spin it up for you before you put it back in the car.
Okay, you did a good job, kid. Now you're not going to chew up your flywheel. Okay.
How to rebuild water pumps, 3P.
Uh-oh, you're digitizing. You're digitizing.
See if it comes back.
See if it comes back. I heard
that. There
we
go. So, yeah, I mean, back in the old days, water pumps were 3 pieces. Fuel pumps were rebuildable. I mean, I remember getting those parts and going through. The fun part as a kid with my first cars was getting the original J.C. Whitney catalog.
Oh, yeah.
And going through and looking at all the stuff I could buy and dreaming about buying new parts. Looking at all the rebuild kits for all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I learned first carburetor I rebuilt was a 1-barrel carburetor.
Yeah. Now the Montego only had a 2-barrel. I miss buying an alternator for $30, and when you brought the core back, you got $5. That time is gone. That was 1988, 1989.
You had enough money back, you could go get something to eat and have some cash in your pocket.
You could put a quarter of a tank, you get $5, gave you just over a quarter tank of gas. It is what it is now. But okay, Uncle. I've already talked to Pete about it. We're probably going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to sell the 1948 GMC half-ton panel truck. People have been offering over $2,000 for it, even though it's laid upside down. You have seen it in all its glory. Sentimental-wise, I really don't want to do this, but project-wise and monetarily, oh, dude, I'm holding on to a past that doesn't exist. That, and it's pretty much the worst-shaped vehicle that I have. So I'm going to try to gather everything from it. But the Franken truck is still there. And it turns.
48 is a commodity now, which is worthwhile for you because it helps you with other things. And the opportunity cost with the 48 is now flipped. You've got a better opportunity cost to turn it to the next person and use what it provides for the next effort.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of projects and we can get plenty of more. But the Franken truck, the 1958, could we get it ready to sell by the end of the year for the Wasteland Warrior thing? And somehow contact them and see if they want to buy it. The trundle bed stayed out in the weather too long, so all the wood is in bad shape, but I kept all the metal. We could make a bed out of plywood, because it's got to look functional but cobbled together like it came out of the desert. No, we don't have to worry about glass. We don't have to worry about... So...
Brakes.
Well, brakes, yes, absolutely. That's the basics, yes. Transmission, engine. I think this is a 250 engine. I'm not sure. But the boom crane is coming. It was supposed to come on Friday, and then Judy sent me a message, and I talked to her on the phone today. Now they want to come on Saturday. And I'm like... No, damn it, I can't. We are playing Dungeons. Oh, that's right, you're having your game on Saturday. This has been in planning for 2.5 months, Jude. Oh, no, you're right. You've been telling me about it this whole time and how you're going to videotape it. And yeah, okay. And, she understands the internet. I'm making her out. She's the one doing all the... Pete can do it. He's figured it out. She's taught him. But, so, I'm going to go... One Connex was almost ready, and then the carburetor crapped out on the forklift. So I had to, move the floor of the 73 Nova because it's, up against the wall. And then I finally got the pallet jack in there and pushed the thing all the way to the front, but now you can't. It's an engine to a truck of one of her sons or one of her grandsons. So all I was able to do was pull it to the very edge of the Connex. And then there's random shit in that one, and that one's empty. And that one's going on top of the first level of the U for the mega shop. The boom crane is going to complete. It's going to put the rest of these 4 connexes up there. I'm going to teach you, like tomorrow, he's like, wear long sleeves and long pants. You're going to be welding. Great. Welding and grinding. Right on. I'm not afraid of this.
I'm sure down with starch.
You're cutting out. Something about starch.
A cotton shirt make a cheap fire retardant coat. Basically, with spray starch.
Spray starch.
It would help to the sparks and whatnot from the stretching, but that's why I had to buy a new jacket, welding and grinding jacket for the shop. I have caught fire too many times.
Well, I'm going to bring my apron tomorrow, yeah. But yeah, it's getting closer and closer to being done. I have that mega shop finished. Because you know how there's those 2 white ones side by side, and it's got all the differentials on the top of them? That's got to be moved. So I have to take all the differentials off. That's why it sucks that the forklift broke down. Both of the forklifts and the skid steer are all broken down.
Oh, jeez.
The skid steer threw a rod. He just bought that off of Philip. The first forklift was a Toyota, and it was newer, and it had a gas engine on it, and that wasn't good enough for Joe. So Joe removed the engine and put a propane engine in it, and it threw a rod. And they're annoyed because why do we have to go to propane anyway, Joe? We just should have left it the way it was. So if you buy from Toyota, a new engine for it is like $6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have that just lying around, you know.
Yeah, it's just out there.
So he's gonna basically sell it for scrap to some dude who's got a similar one and wants it for like within a couple years, you know. Forklifts are like really old cars. They don't change very much. Like new cars look totally different each year. That's not always the case. Like I always ask my dad, how do you know? He's like, well, you got to remember that from this year to this year, they didn't. From 47 to 54, Chevys didn't change that much. Lights changed, maybe a visor here or there. It isn't until 55 that the rocket years start. And then the 56, the 57, the 58, the 59, they all look different. And it starts, and he's right. And now, being out there at the ranch, because these are 58 hoods. These are 57 Chevy truck hoods. These are 59 GMC hoods. They're very similar. The grill just has a different logo on it.
Right. The body panels changed every year because that was how you sold. Mechanics. The mechanicals, for the most part, were universal for a longer time frame, but then you had all kinds of interesting things that came with new design. So when you built the A body, and then in '65 we decided we wanted a different ball joint, and then great, screw me, okay.
Another thing too is, and I don't know if Guy would argue about this, or Ron, or probably not Pete, but Ford is built for efficiency, and Chevy and GMC are built for simplicity. There's T's at battle here, because Ford will put two or three different things on the same bolt, where in Chevy those three things will be in three different places, so that you don't have to worry about the one bolt.
Yeah, Ford liked it. Henry Ford's original idea was to make something as quick and dirty as possible.
And have it uniform.
So, yeah, and he wanted to make it so that it could be run out. It could be played out for as long as possible. There are stories of, and I don't know how much of this is genuine, how much of it is just tales, but there were tales of Henry Ford during the teens, the 20s, and I think into the 30s, giving specifications for shipping container. So if you were going to ship him a transmission, it had to be in a box, a crate that had the specific dimensions. Because the early cars, he was taking the crates, disassembling them, and using them for components in the vehicle.
Yep.
Now, how much of that is genuine, I don't know. How much of that is details, but I would think part of it at least.
Wow, it's no big secret that most of the interior of the early 10s, 20s, 30s, well, not so much the 30s, but, well, yeah, it was wood.
Yeah, the teens and the 20s were wood, yeah. And so that was a big thing with him. But the other thing with Ford is, as time went along, Chevrolet was worried about making them fast, making them cheap, and that was the components. If I can make the engine work and I can make the engine as inexpensive as possible, I'm not going to worry about doing too much of a deep dive into the majority. Ford had spent more time trying to eke out more and more in the wild horsepower races that came about over that. Chrysler was kind of an also-ran. Well, so Chevrolet becomes the small block Chevy was the ubiquitous motor because there was a lot of room on that motor to do things, and they were available everywhere. They were inexpensive, comparatively speaking, and there was a lot of space left. There was a lot left on the table. So somebody like Iskenderun could come in and say, well, I can make a camshaft that'll do even more. I can come up, Ed Edelbrock came up with new designs. All of these guys were able to do more with the small block because there were more of them and there was more space to improve. The Fords became more difficult to do that because they had eked out quite a bit from their designs. Their designs were not necessarily superior. They just spent more time at the factory trying to get a little more out of it.
More efficiency.
And less on the table.
I think
Chryslers were a whole nother story.
Well, I agree in the sense that here's my 302. I'm going to put it in this, pick one, Mercury Cougar, this Mustang, this Galaxy.
Yeah.
The engine is, like you said, efficient as it is from the factory line, so you can't really bore it out too much and get bigger pistons. You can't modify the camshaft unless you are a mechanical engineering wizard.
Yeah, you've got to spend more to get more from it than you do on a small block Chevrolet.
Yeah. Chevy and GMC, there's more, like you said, there's more room to tinker. There's more room to add this and that and mess with it and see what happens. This will be a fun experiment.
Right. Chevrolet made specific motors as they went along with the intent to eke more out. That was the exception rather than the rule. Small block Chevrolet, the traditional Stovebolt 6, those motors were designed. They were designed to get the job done. It just need enough power out of it to get the job done. Then they created, we've got this opportunity to make something a little bit better. So now we're going to make, with the muscle car era, we're going to build a 327, which is a 350, which is a small block, but it's got a slightly different bore and stroke, and we're going to change the heads, and we're going to spend more, but we're going to make fewer of them. Yeah. And they're a specialty motor. We're going to spend the time and energy and the money to make this one something special, but I'm still going to make 500 of these other ones because I can sell those, and the amount that I make over the top on those can go into this so that I can charge much more for the few that'll have this motor.
Yeah.
And that became the case. Ford started doing that, but they had to come up with new designs. That's why the standard 302 and the 351 series.
The Windsor and the
you had the Cleveland series. The Cleveland was the high performance engine. Prior to that, you had the Ford Edsel, the FE. So you had the 352, but then you had the 360, which, okay, it's a little bit better. Then we're going to make the 390. The 390 became our hot rod motor. And then the 427, the 428. Then they went to the big blocks of the, they went with the Cleveland series in the replacement to the FE. And then they went with the 460. And then they did the 429s. And so that was the thing. Chrysler was similar, but Chrysler was always trying to eke something special out of their motors. So the hemisphere heads, the original Hemi motors that were built, they were built to, hey, this is something special. We know that we can do something. They just hadn't taken it as far as they could have until they got into the 60s.
Yeah.
And started building the elephant motors and things like that. The problem was their engineering was such that those motors were extraordinary. They could do wonderful things, but wonderful things that lifespan.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Bill, I'm going to bow out.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us for as long as you could.
You're welcome.
Do you have a plug?
Bye, guys.
Do you have anything coming
I'll
up?
talk to you guys later.
Okay, never mind.
Nothing coming up. No,
For
nothing
all
coming
our
up.
friends. We're talking too much car stuff. You're getting bored. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Absolutely. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care, sir. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Yeah,
You too.
absolutely. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us. Too much car stuff. We lost him.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry, Kris.
Well,
But
and
no,
that's-
you're right,
but that-
because it's the evolution of engines. They're just going to keep evolving and becoming more efficient and more. But
Oh yeah.
there's something to be said for doing a project. I'm having Harold come over later to help me. Oh, this is going to be great. You two are going to argue. I'm going to film it. This is going to be awesome. I love working with Harold. I did projects at his house. Harold hates most people. I'm privileged. He's in that 80-year-old group where they have no time for nonsense, even when they were young.
Yep, I have learned enough to know I don't like you. Go away.
Yeah, yeah. He used to look at me sideways for the longest time. And then all of a sudden one day he just started talking to me like I had been there forever. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm accepted now. Yes.
I like you now. Come here.
You still say bizarre stuff and goofy things, but you get the job done. Yes, I do. I'm
Right,
unorthodox.
you know where my cigarettes are and which end to light. So I like you.
Yeah, my shoulder's almost completely, well, not completely, but almost completely healed from being an idiot, not waiting for him to help me and doing it on my own and giving myself a dead arm that lasted for 2 days. Oh, it doesn't hurt that bad anymore, but that's what it was like when it happened months ago. So yeah, next couple days are not going to be any fun. So, but that's okay. It'll get done. We'll need it to get done. So, Ford is universal. All the frames are universal. So I can probably get 302s in the sedans and the coupe.
Well, there's nothing. The thing to remember is that there are universal, big air quotes, universal kits to mount any motor in any.
Uh-oh. You're digitizing on me again.
You can get the part, or if you can get a picture of the part, you can make the part. You can cobble together. So the only limitation is what you're willing and comfortable in doing to get them to fit. So that becomes kind of a moot point. I mean, people have been putting every kind of motor into every kind of vehicle for
a millennia.
Ever. Yeah. So that becomes easy. If you find a motor, if somebody has a motor that is going to work, then we can get it into the frame. We can get it between the frame rail some way, shape, or form. It may sit high, it may sit low, but we can get it in there so that it works.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking for size 15 and a half, 5-hole Chevy rims. We need 2 for the front to get the Franken truck rolling also. And then I'm going to have that put in my driveway.
So 5-hole, 15-inch rims. Okay.
For a Chevy, since it's a 58 Chevy. And then we can buy the crappiest fenders he's got. We'll probably make a hood. We can make a cab or use cobbled together cab pieces. He's got plenty. We can use the bed frames and stuff to make a bed for it, and then we can decide whether we want to make it like one of the battle vehicles or just like a weird truck. And have guns sticking out of it, and we'll weld a bunch of plates on it that looks like it's gotten patched up at a moment's notice.
Yep, it's easy to do that. The most important thing for that group, what I remember in looking at their website is vehicle has to have, mechanically it has to be safe. So starts and stops and brakes, all the rest of that stuff. It's going to operate at night. It has to have lights. It has to have brake lights and all of that. So that needs to be functional.
Okay.
It needs, and you have to be careful about the protrusions. So you can't have great big spiky shit that's going to kill people if you're out screwing around. So you have to just be aware of that. So you want to confirm with them any limitations there, and then put out, hey, this is what I've got. Here's what I want for it.
Yeah.
Come and get it. It's ready to go. It starts, it stops, it does everything in between, and it's got a title, and you can license it and register it and run it as wild as you would like because its title is a 1958.
Yeah.
So it can go anywhere.
Ruckus.
So as long as it has those things, then somebody's going to want it because if it's titled, then it can be registered.
Yeah.
And it can be insured. And for those events, I believe you had to have certain things because you're going to be out in a national park area or something like that. You get a pass, a permit to go out there, and that required. I think it has a registration requirement. You have to show that yes, this is a real vehicle. This is not something that I super glued together in my backyard. And I swear it's okay.
Duct tape and baling wire and number 9 wire. A man will never tire of pulling on his number 9 wire. Quick tick up in Canada and Saskatchewan. That guy's a hard-working guy. He's got a lot of cows up there. No, you're right. But
that's the nice thing about it for that is, like you said, the body, the exterior, the bodywork becomes whatever scrap metal is available. So if he's got pieces of scrap metal, he doesn't give a shit about.
He's got a yard.
That can be welded to the outside. And they just stick this here, weld it there, or this, because it doesn't have to run smooth. In fact, if you put some stylistic pieces on it, but it's all cobbled together and rusty, most of those folks are going to go, oh yeah, this looks so cool, and look at the swoop, and oh wow.
That's the beauty, because if we go back and watch Mad Max and Road Warrior and Beyond Thunderdome, and because there aren't really any cars in Blood of Heroes, and there's cars everywhere in Fallout, but none of them work. Yep. Because they want you to walk around in the world. They don't want you to. Fast traveling is your car, basically. Where in 7 Days to Die, you need a car or a motorcycle or a bike to get the hell away from the zombies if they swarm you. Or on Blood Moon Night, you got to get the hell away from them fast because they will swarm you.
The nice thing about those the Warrior Wasteland stuff is that you can do. Okay, this is for all the old timers out there. You young kids will have to look this up. you can do the whole piece at a time by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
So you can build a 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56 Cadillac.
Yes. You really can out there. There's so much out there still. And everything's been moving. Well, until the forklift died, everything was been moving around. But, yeah, I would love to do the project, and I was all excited about it, but financial constraints forced me into letting it go.
Yep.
We have enough projects.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... It is a loss. It's the opportunity cost. But I think, like I said, it seems like right now the opportunity cost is kind of shifted.
Yeah.
So now it's more of a commodity. You can take that and roll that into something else. And it's not the last 48 that's ever going to exist. And there will be opportunity to come around for something similar.
Yeah.
Perhaps in better condition. Perhaps somebody will make a trade. Hey, you've got this Warrior Wasteland car. I've got this 48.
Sold!
Let me see it. Let me see what you got.
Pete would be so mad. We were supposed to sell that, and you were going to give me half the money. You do a lot of shit against me. No, I wouldn't do that to him. That's biting the hand that feeds. Don't bite the hand that feeds. Because he benefits as well. We make the videos, it's we're using his parts. I just made 3 short videos yesterday out about I got to post them on the council, but yeah, one hand washes the other. Oh, he's not watching us anymore. Why don't you just join us, Jingo? Hopefully he's done with what he was doing.
Yeah, hopefully you got everything taken care of.
What's my phone?
Sounded like tonight he had a lot. He had a lot on his plate. Hope he was able to get it taken care of.
I'll explain. It's a game. It's a group of people that try to reenact Mad Max, Road Warrior, and Thunderdome. And Blood of Heroes, and they have bands and fire eaters and wrestling, and it's like a 4-day party that like 20,000 people show up at, and it's at the end. It's
Burning Man to the dystopian future,
yeah.
basically.
And even the Fallout enthusiasts have joined the Wasteland Warriors because it's kind of open, because it's like post-apocalyptic fantasy movies. So even Boy and His Dog and what's another good one that's the Warrior and the Sorceress and all these weird, Hell,
Thundar the Barbarian fits into that.
It's Damnation Alley. Yeah. So it's more of like the celebration of the sci-fi of the dystopian post-apocalyptic future. Much like steampunk is steampunk convention. Worldwide.
What is it, 28 days later, 28 years later?
Yeah, there's zombie conventions. There's a convention for everything now, really. And it was just February. It was, okay. Yes, that is what we're he was asking, is that what we're talking about? But I would like to, there's 2 vehicles out there that I would like to get running, get road worthy, put together, get titles for them, it takes time and money. I mean, we have the means out there, we have everything out there, but these 2 rims, because Pete's like, I don't have any more of those rims. I used the last 2 on this one vehicle, and then I sold the vehicle. So I am not a person to take rims off of an existing vehicle he's trying to sell for one of my cockamamie. Yeah. That's just not...
Well, if the bolt pattern is such that we can use any rim with that bolt pattern, then that makes it a little bit easier. We just need to know what the bolt pattern is. If it's 5 on 5 inches, 5 on 5.5 inches.
It's 5 on 5.5.
So anything that would be 5 on 5.5, it doesn't have to be unless you're looking for a traditional steel wheel, a 5x5.5, we just start looking for somebody who's got one sitting around scrapping out.
This is the best opportunity because we could get 2 different rims. It's not going to matter because we want this to look cobbled from the desert.
Yeah, so it means Facebook Marketplace then becomes your next best friend, or even going to the pick-apart yard where they go, oh, yeah, I got rims with tires on them. Okay, let me see that one and that one's 5x5.5. We're out of here.
Yeah. Now, what did we talk about tonight? We talked about D&D, of course, attributes. We talked about
nature versus nurture.
You talked about programming for a lot. We talked about
we took AI into nature
AI.
versus nurture
Yes,
as a way to model it.
True. We talked about ways to improve attributes. We talked about why wisdom takes the longest to gain.
Yeah, the attributes and how they intermingle.
We talked about cons. We talked about Robert Downey Jr. a lot because he deserves to be. He's been in 91 movies and he was doing great, and then he fell off the wagon, and then he came back, and they were making fun of him in movies and Saturday Night Live, and then all of a sudden he's fucking Sherlock Holmes and Iron Man, and now Dr. Doom.
Yeah. He's recovered and rebuilt himself.
We salute you, sir.
Yeah.
I use the Robert Downey Jr. eye roll every time I hear something I don't like at a job or in the from the Avengers where he's like, oh, it's perfect. It's a perfect, just, I want to throw a chair across the room reaction.
Yeah. That's what I love about my current job. We've gotten away from Zoom. We now use Google Meet. Okay. But I can turn off the camera and nobody can hear that eye roll.
Nobody can hear you go, oh, okay. All right, Michelle, what's your idea?
Nobody can hear my eyeballs going.
Yeah. Oh, now you can see the teddy bear slayer. I've won this shit before. Ruckus says very important cat business. He's so tiny. He's so little. It's funny that
very busy. Well, very busy.
They have a similar relationship, but it's that, what are we going to do today, Spike? What are we going to do? Shut up. Where Sylvester fights it's the panther, and so, well, I even put up the video. They play fight all day and night. And then when they go to sleep, Wiggles will go into Clay's room and cuddle up with him, and then Ruckus will not leave me alone. He's on my neck, he's on my head, he's under my arm, he's on my chest, he's between my legs, he's over here. Now he's cuddling with me in my armpit. Now he's between my butt cheeks. Leave me alone, you're not my cat. I'm your uncle, not your dad. Clay is your dad. Doesn't matter. Oh, I love you. Not that he loves Clay. He plays with him all the time. But apparently I'm the cuddle buddy that he needs to have at night.
So you're the cuddle puddle.
Yeah. And he's the one that has to do all the other maintenance. But then it's funny, too, because Wiggles and Ruckus are the largest cat and the smallest cat in the house, and they pal around all day together in a play fight. So it's just a hilarity ensuing all day long. Because Ruckus will jump on top of Wiggles, and he's like, what are you doing? And then Wiggles will jump on top of Ruckus, and Wiggles is 21 pounds. Yeah, 21 pounds. So it's like, get off me. Oh, there he goes. There goes Wiggles. But he's a gentle giant. He's actually like really mellow. They are smart, though. I'm pretty sure Ruckus is the brains. Because I explain things to them and they listen to me. It's creepy the way cats listen to humans. It's like, you pretty much mostly understand. You understand what I'm saying. Stop doing that. What do you mean?
I didn't do anything. You can't prove it, anything.
Knock this on the ground. Oh, sorry, staff. I woke you up yelling. But yeah, they're so adorable, hanging out together, being the force of destruction together. Saffy. She's still getting used to her little brothers. She doesn't. She screams at Ruckus still. Oh, I think we talked about this earlier, didn't we? But now it's the noises that she makes with them. So, all right. Sometimes are the like running away from me. The like rough play noises that aren't the distressed howl.
It's not the "I'm going to kill you all." It's more, "I'm willing to deal with you, and we can have a little bit of play at this distance."
I want to be your friend. Just stay over there.
This is a 10-foot pole.
What?
Make it shorter, I will hurt you.
You need to stay at the end of the pole. If you don't stay at the end of the pole, I will break the pole in half and shove the jagged end through your chest. What? Okay, your neck. What? I thought you wanted to play chess. You were lying. Are you any good at chess? Not really. I've beat a lot of people, and I've been killed in 6 moves. So I play it because I enjoy it, not because I'm good at it. The old man was... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, are you good at chess? No. You said, I beat a lot of people. Not at chess. I beat a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. Sorry. I thought you meant... never mind. Well, that's why I preferred D&D when we talked about it. It's like sports on the Monopoly board because you have to work together.
Yep.
Otherwise...
It's the only reason for getting sweaty while playing D&D is because the air conditioning is out.
Or you're excited about the play and you just came up and you're all like, yeah! You're all acting like teenagers. Oh my God, this is so awesome. Where did you come up with this? Well, you said this and then he said that and I just kind of put the two together and then I said, wait a minute, and then I said it and you guys were like, what? Like, all of a sudden we reenacted Friday. Damn! And then it was put into motion and then...
with Red, quick, hold my beer.
Yeah. Frenchie was telling me a story because they played with guys for a long time, and then in the 70s and 80s, and then the 4 of them kind of separated, and Frenchie and Tatton lost track of the other 2 guys. And just recently, that quartet of old school D&D guys has just finally reunited. So Frenchie, he's like, man, the other Thursday, I'm the fighter in the group, and I was just hot. Lady Luck was 100% on my side. I didn't roll anything below a 16 all night long for the whole session. It's like, damn, dude, you were just destroying everything. He's like, they didn't even get near the other 3 players. I didn't need the cleric's help at all. Mike barely got off a couple spells because Tatton's the wizard in the party. They do what we do where, okay, he's going to run D&D for a while. How are you guys doing? I could go for more, but I'm kind of getting burned out on D&D. Ooh, I agree with him. Yeah, I could play a lot more, but a Switch would be okay. So then, I'm going to run... Pick one.
So we're going to jump into...
We're going to do Marvel superheroes now. We're going to do Top Secret. We're going to play Battletech. We're going to play... Because unless you're doing Paranoia or Toon or Call of Cthulhu, those games, you can do a campaign in them, or Tales of the Floating Vagabond or Teenagers from Outer Space. These aren't like serious games, though. You know, you're supposed to die in Paranoia. That's why they give you 6 clones of you. Hell, they shoot these clones out of a cannon through the Alpha Complex to catch up to you. There's a big possibility that your clone won't even survive the impact when the capsule lands. Oh, he's going to come out of the... He didn't come out. They open it up. Oh, yeah, he's not going to come out.
Yeah, not going to happen. Sorry, you rolled a 1.
Clone 4, because you have to roll. He's right. You have to roll to land. Clone number 4. Shit. I only have 2 left.
Oh, look, a crit. Nice. Okay.
Can I get recloned? Well, what color are you? Color are you? I'm orange. No. Are you
Not
sure?
today.
Not an orange, dude. If you were like, I don't know, violet or higher, yeah, you could probably finagle that, work that into happening and giving yourself some more clones. Or if you were ultraviolet, if you were allowed to wear white robes, clone yourself every morning.
Right. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
Yeah.
You don't get a clone.
Yeah. No clones for you. I'm red. Okay, you clean toilets. The only guys lower than you are the dudes in black, the infrared. They're the scum of the earth. If this were... Because that's the beauty of paranoia, is it ties all of sci-fi together in one. So you really live in a Big Brother 2001 caste society where the maniacal computer that's malfunctioning is taken over, and the high programmers aren't really programmers. They're con men that have figured out a way to get to that level, and nobody questions them.
That's right. The sudden impact of Logan's Run and Fahrenheit, all the rest of these all come together, and guess what? That's where you're at.
Some of the weapons are awesome because you start off with laser guns, but you can only use the laser pistols and laser rifles that are your rank. So in order to acquire different rank, you have to acquire different outfits and you have to like earn Roy G. Biv. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then white. And that's there. So if you're an infrared, you have one of those gym lockers that you had in 7th grade, and you share that with about 18 other people. And then if you're red, you move up to the bigger locker that the older kids got in senior year. Oh, yeah, you're doing good. Way to go. And then as you go up, your living space gets more grandiose till if you're white, it's one dude living in the Taj Mahal because they're all clones. The whole society is a weird mix of all the books I just said and Idiocracy all rolled into one. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Go away, Peyton. Don't open that door.
Well, big brother, I'm going to have to make a call on it. We are approaching the 8 o'clock hour.
We had so much going on Saturday that we didn't, Rob did a fantastic closing, but no, don't. That's Clay's magic stuff. Oh, no. I hope those are glasses, and he says, no, don't throw that on the... There's cat intervention needing. Otherwise, the roommate's Magic the Gathering stuff is in deep, deep peril. She had to go into this to get it. It's not... I don't really have the...
Of course.
You went through it's all divided up in colors, blue, red, green. And she's like grabbing stuff out of there. And I hope she didn't pull out of space. Hey. What is this thing? Oh, it's his glasses. Good. Leave his glasses alone, damn it. Where are mine? Here. Anyway, thank you for watching. You could have watched anybody else, but you decided to watch us here at the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. Body and Soul Candle. I know we're a long way from Valentine's Day. We're not as long away from the fall, which... Especially in Arizona, you don't do too many candles in the summer, the end of the spring, the summer, and the very beginning of the fall, because it's too damn hot. The wax melts. So, but the fall and the winter months and the very early spring are the season for candles. So go and check out Body and Soul Candle. Lauren always has amazing smelling candles. You've gotten one, you know how great they are. I've gotten food from the St. Mary's Food Bank, not recently, but in life, and that they always take good care of you.
Yep, and I'm going to call out Eric Marsh Foundation because we're coming into the wildfire season. Look them up on the Weird Wide Web, the Eric Marsh Foundation. They help out the families of fallen and catastrophically injured wildland firefighters, and to help keep those that run towards danger and are out there to help those of us who can no longer run towards danger.
Other than that, stay geeky. I'm trying to think of other plugs. Oh, yeah, if you need Chevy parts, call Pete, GMC, from the 30s to the 90s. He's got all kinds of stuff. He's still got all those. I want to take one of those Camaros and turn it into that's probably like in the future, like if he sees, because he's like, you don't want that. Besides, I need this piece off of that. Well, go cut it off of that. I'm not ready to do that yet. Well, yeah, you got like 8 projects going on. But
we'll take the carcass and turn it into something that somebody wants later.
There you go. All it takes is money.
All right, my brother.
Oh, yes. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night. The Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. Stay geeky. Thank you.
Take care, sir.
Have a wonderful night. Thank you.